On the air on over 30 radio stations in Western Pennsylvania. And on the net with over 10 schools and hundreds of live and archived broadcasts at www.msasports.net. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the MSA Sports Network.
Welcome to WPIAL Football 2015 here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network. This evening, it's a matchup in Class AA's Allegheny Conference as the Shady Side Academy Indians visit the Apollo Ridge Vikings. High school football at MSAsports.net is sponsored by ProGrass, by First Commonwealth Bank, by Carlow University, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Dunkin' Donuts, by Grove City College, by Dollar Bank, by Erie Insurance and the Charles M. Mills Insurance Agency, and by Management Science Associates. Now let's head up to Apollo Ridge and join Scott Majeski, Brandon Showers, and Jess Levo for all the action.
And with that, we welcome you to Apollo Ridge for this contest from the Allegheny Conference, WPIAL football here on the MSA Sports Network, as the Shadyside Academy Indians, sitting at 2-3 in the conference, 2-3 overall, take on the Apollo Ridge Vikings, 1-3 in the conference and 2-3 overall. For Jess Levo upstairs above us, giving us the live stream video feed of this ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week, Brandon Showers to my right. I'm Scott Majeski. We're great to have you with us here from Apollo Ridge for this Allegheny Conference. Two teams that are looking to continue that winning track as they snapped losing streaks last week. Shadyside Academy losing 2 in a row, snapping with a win over Summit Academy. And Apollo Ridge lost 3 in a row before snapping that with a win over Valley. Brandon, both these teams want to win tonight, and what feels like here on homecoming for Apollo Ridge, but more a playoff-like feel.
Well, both these teams, they pretty much have to win here tonight. A loss for either of these teams mathematically should eliminate them from the playoffs, and both of them really need a lot of help to get themselves into the playoffs after a win tonight, whichever team ends up coming out ahead of the ball game. And you brought up those 3 losses for Apollo Ridge. One of them was in a heartbreaking overtime loss here at a Highlands game, which I had done with Matt Vandriak, 31-28. Their top 2 running backs were out of the game in the overtime session, so not much they could do there. Same thing with the Freeport game. They were still out of the game. I believe the Borough game, one of the 2 came back. Valley, Stankus, I know, played in the Valley game. And then you have Dwayne Touchdown Brown making his return tonight, his much anticipated return to the field tonight as we get ready to kick things off. Megan Benelli for Apollo Ridge will kick 2 Shady Side's return men. And
Apollo Ridge in their home blues, gold, yellow numbering, will have a squib kick which will bounce off the Indian upman, and this one will fall around the 30-yard line. Apollo Ridge and Shadyside Academy get it started there. This will be the Indians with it. First down and 10. Shadyside Academy in their road whites, gold pants, blue helmets. Apollo Ridge in their home blues, yellow lettering, white pants, and white helmet with a big yellow and blue stripe. Brown is back for Apollo Ridge. He scored about 5 touchdowns last year against the Shadyside Academy Indians at Shadyside Academy. And it'll be the Indians breaking huddle first. It'll be number 10 for Shadyside Academy. Chris Woodings, the senior wide receiver, but they run a wildcat formation, and he'll get the snap with a guy behind him. He'll pitch it to that man. It'll be Eric Harris off the left side. Picks up a good amount, about 5, 6, 7 yards on the play. Goes number 7, Eric Harris, the senior running back, and get ready to hear his name a lot tonight.
Student body left for Shadyside there. Harris picked up a nice 6-yard gain on that play. Made it a second manageable. That's a win on first down for the Indians. We kind of addressed it a little bit in the pregame. The injury bug has hit both of these teams, and they've hit both of these teams hard. Luke Fitzgerald, one of the leading offensive linemen, out of the game after getting surgery done or at least a broken finger, a broken pinky finger on his hand.
Low snap. Woodings picks it up, and he'll roll to his left. And the design of the play was to go to the right. He loses a few on the play, sets up a long third down. They came out in trips right, so it looked like they were going to go right back. And it's actually Chris Gutman, number 14, the sophomore quarterback in there. And we're going to hear this a lot tonight from Shady. They're going to be rotating different quarterbacks into the game. Chris Gutman, Sky Moore, and Chris Woodings will be taking snaps out of that Wildcat. That is the center. Luke Keenan, though, on the missed snap there.
Now it looks like we have Gutman still in at quarterback for the Indians.
A little switcheroo train here. Twins to each side. Gutman in shotgun formation. Couple steps behind him is Harris. Whistle on the play.
I think we're going to get a timeout from Shady side. They were running low on the play clock.
Yeah, a little confusion. Gutman was trying to switch up a couple of his receivers. Number 16 for Shady Side Academy, or number 15, Clayton Kroll, I apologize, and number 44 for the Indians as well, Neil McWig.
Let you know, coming up at the half, and we are a little bit from the half here, is the MSA Sports halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Post-Gazette's Mike White discuss the WPIL 4,000-yard rushing club, a very exclusive club. Not everyone gets in.
Yeah. Very interesting to note here to our left, Dave Havern, the head coach of Shady Side Academy, is sitting up here in the press box and not down on the field with the Shady Side Academy Indians.
That's a lot of Havern. Yeah, I've done a lot of Shady Side games, and I've never seen Havern up in the press box. I've always seen him down on field level.
Not sure of the reasoning for that, but nonetheless, the Indians will break the huddle right now. 3rd down and 8. 10:33 to go first quarter. Gutman comes out with a man to his right, sends a guy in motion. He'll go all the way around. Chris will roll to his right. He'll throw, and he's got a man open in the flat. It's a catch, but short of the first down goes McWig, and they're going to be about a yard short on the little throw-out bootleg by Chris Gutman.
That pass was beautifully caught from McQuigg. Did a good job diving, getting his left hand underneath the ball and pulled it in just short of the line. Now we got Clayton Kroll in punt formation, but got to watch the ball here because it does look like Harris is up tight.
In punt formation, Kroll will get the snap and boot it down the field to his right leg. Ball will bounce to the 30, be picked up. And here at the 30, there goes Brown. Brown to the 40, 45, and tripped up at the 46-yard line. And that is where Apollo Ridge will start it. 1st down and 10 at the 9:46 mark here in the first quarter.
We started talking about the injury bug on the Shady Side end of things with Doc Shletka, their senior leader who plays quarterback for them. He's more of a linebacker, running back scenario, but he plays quarterback. The injury bug hasn't been afraid of attracting Apollo Ridge when Dwayne Brown went out with concussion-like symptoms against Highlands. Maurice Stankus ended up with one, and he didn't play the next week at Freeport. And Brown lined up in Wildcat. He does everything for this team.
Brown will get the snap, and he'll hand it off, and off to the left side. There goes Shipman, and Dylan Shipman fumbled. Nope, they're calling him down as he rolls off to the left there. About a loss of 1, they'll call it on the play. Lost the ball when he hit the ground.
And he was laid out. I didn't see who that was coming up. I think it was number 42, Ivor Wood, for Shady Side. Came up and just laid the wood down on Shipman and made him lose that yard.
We'll say Mike Ware, number 51.
51,
made
okay.
the tackle. Mike Ware, one of the bigger boys on the Shady Side Academy Indians offense and defensive side. Thing about Double-A, you'll play both ways. Whether you like it or not, you got to with the numbers. Brown out of the shotgun. He'll keep it himself out the left side. He got nowhere to go as he is just down and met right in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play. And not a good start for Dwayne Brown in the Apollo Ridge offense.
You brought up the size. I'm sure we'll address it here later on. Big news this week in the WPIL and the PIAA for that matter is the decision to go from 4 classifications up to 6 classifications now. So it'll be interesting to see how scheduling works out next year.
Like Mike Ware again in there to make that tackle. Brown comes out with twins to each side. He drops back in shotgun, throws it deep downfield. He's got a man, but he overshoots number 24, Christian Schultz, who had a touchdown last week against Valley and the only score of the game against Valley on the Apollo Ridge Vikings side, and a quick 3 and out for both sides.
And that's the thing about running that Wildcat. Dwayne Brown, no stranger to throwing the ball. He was on this team last year, and might recognize this name with Trey Tipton. Trey Tipton now playing at Pitt.
Getting valuable minutes at Pitt, too.
Minutes at Pitt. Both of them did everything for the team. It was a matter of who wanted to line up at quarterback play to play.
And the punt away by Brown is a high end-over-end punt. And bobbled on the catch, but picked up and going to the right side there. And going to the right is Kroll. Kroll breaks a few tackles, 45-50, and then Brown makes the tackle right at the 49-yard line of the Indians.
That was Stankus.
That was Stankus on that tackle. Thank you, Brandon.
Maurice Stankus. The 5 and the 6 with that yellow lettering, the white outlining from up in the press box can be a little bit interesting to tell the difference between.
Couple set of eyes up here. That's the advantage. But a good setup offense, a good return there by Kroll that sets up Shadyside at their own 49-yard line.
Yeah, Kroll did a good job of going one side and ended up flipping it over to the other. Looked like he was going to come left, and he didn't have anything on the sideline. He reversed field, and luckily his blockers were able to reset themselves up.
Twins to the left. It'll be Gutman handing off to Harris up the middle, and Harris will fight his way across the 50 down to the 46-yard line. Eric Harris, a nice pickup there of about, I'll say, 5.
5 or 6 pending the spot.
Give them 6. They're generous.
2 carries, 12 yards now for Harris. He's been their entire offense, short of that 7-yard pass to McQuigg.
Shadyside will come out in the shotgun formation again. Kroll to the left, near side us. They'll send him in motion. Gutman sends him, and Gutman will hand it off to Harris. Harris fights his way off the left side for about a couple on the play. Sets up a very 3rd down and manageable, 3rd and maybe 2. But good blocking up front by that Indian offensive line.
Good job off the offensive line, and a good job of Harris showing the ability not only to run with speed outside the tackles, that time had to run with a little bit of power inside the tackles and did it very successfully.
Well, if you're a fan of the Wildcat, you're going to get that tonight. That's for sure.
Both teams.
Both teams. Either way, running the ball. If you like good, hard in the trench working, that's what you're going to get tonight. Harris gets the handoff, and he's met right before the line of scrimmage. Maybe loses one on the play off the right side. Good pursuit by that defensive line of the Vikings. Let's see who was the man there to make the tackle.
Looked like that was Eric Wenzel, maybe. Joe Bowster. Yep. Sorry.
Joe Bowser with a nice pursuit, gets through that right side. And there's when you mentioned the injured Luke Fitzgerald,
that's where he comes into play.
Yep. Right there on those 3rd and shorts. So it'll be Kroll to punt it. Good snap. He'll take a few steps to his right and punt it off to the right side, and they'll punt it out of bounds to get away from the dangerous threat of Brown there to return the ball.
I think after that first return, that's the right call to make. He had a big return. Just the offense couldn't do anything, just like Kroll had in the other punt, the punt from Apollo Ridge to them.
Don't forget to tune in for This Week in the WPIL on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIL coaches, plus we preview Week 7 of the WPIL football season. That's every Wednesday, and they do a great job of that. Good listen.
Fitzroy in at quarterback now for the Vikings.
He wears number 14, sophomore quarterback, and he'll hand it off, and met is Brown, but Brown breaks a tackle, breaks a few more, and needs about 4 Indians to bring him down for a gain of about 1 off to the right side.
Fitzroy hadn't seen varsity time until this year. His first game he played was against Keystone Oaks. A very productive game, over 100 yards passing, a very, very nice game for him as a sophomore starting quarterback, but it doesn't hurt when you have someone like Dwayne Brown in the backfield. At worst case scenario, he's going to bail you out.
He'll go under center here and hand it off to Brown. Brown will bounce it out to the right side, and he does pick up a good amount of yardage off that right side, close to the first down mark. He needs the 25. Looks like he got to the 23. With 5:30 to go here in the first quarter, we'll set up a 3rd down and 2.
I think you're going to give him 7 on that carry, so that would give him 5 total on the game because he was at -2.
So 3rd down and 2 coming up. Under center, Brown the deep back, and they draw the right end from Shadyside Academy off. That is number 5.
Anthony Ossolino.
Ossolino, a sophomore. 6'1", 186, playing outside linebacker there, defensive end, and jumps offside, and that's a sophomore mistake right there, Brandon.
It's a sophomore mistake, but if you're going to see time at the varsity level, and that's one thing, anytime you talk to Dave Havern, he doesn't like to see silly penalties. He doesn't mind a full-speed penalty. Hey, I grabbed the guy's jersey. I'm sorry, coach. But the jumping off sides, the delays of games, the lazy holding penalties that you see from offensive linemen just kind of hugging their defensive counterpart.
Brown goes in motion out of the eye, and they'll drop back 3-step. They're going to look Brown's way. He's double covered, overshoots everybody. Kroll on the coverage along with number 11 for Shadyside Academy, Eric Yost, the senior. And Fitzroy just overshot him there.
And you saw the entire Shadyside defense. The second Brown motioned out of the backfield. They're all pointing at him. Shaded a safety over the top to protect the cornerback. Not a bad move, not a bad defensive strategy of the Dave Havern's Indians. The only thing you got to watch, though, if you're going to do something like that, Dylan Shipman, he has the speed as well to open up a deep pass. And we saw them try to get the ball to him earlier in the game over the top from Brown, just wasn't able to.
Shotgun formation, bunch twins to each side. Fitzroy will look. He's got all day back there. Finds his man Brown open at the 40. That's a first down. And he steps out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by Yost, but gets 2 yards above the first down sticks. And it is first down and 10, the first down we've seen of the game for Apollo Ridge. Oh, second.
After that offsides penalty called on Shadyside. Brown that time kind of snuck from the far side, ran straight across the field. A lot of possibilities that you can do there. You can make yourself invisible to the defensive backfield if they get tied up with the big Jolly Green Giants in the front of the line.
Fitzroy comes out in a shotgun formation. They'll bunch the twins. And he's got a sidecar to his right. Sends a man in motion. He'll drop back. Look downfield. Throws it downfield and in and out of the hands of his intended target, number 10, Jonathan Shelkley. Oh, no, that is
Scholes.
Yep. And it is now a second down and 10.
No, that would be Orquist, wouldn't it? Yeah, Danny Orquist.
Yep, Danny Orquist. There are
10.
2 number 10s. I was looking at the second of the number 10s on my roster. Danny Orquist drops the ball, the junior wide receiver.
Short-handed wide receiver on the outside, and we haven't seen him target him yet, that's Lloyd Galloway. Plays tight end. He plays a lot of defense, linebacker. Say his name a lot when you do an Apollo game.
A shotgun handoff here to the one sidecar for Apollo Ridge.
Coleman.
And that is Coleman. And Coleman picks up about 1 on the play.
Fullback dive on that play, and Coleman couldn't get the handle from Fitzroy. Did a bad job of the exchange and couldn't get up into the line fast enough.
So 3rd down and 9 coming up for Apollo Ridge from their own 41. Twins to each side. Fitzroy gets the snap, throws it down the field, and overshoots his man. That is number 4. That is Shipman, Dylan Shipman, the senior. He overshoots him again. And credit Shadyside safety Eric Harris. I'm seeing him flying all over the place. Him and Yost, they're all over the place there. They see the deep pass. They're going to cover that deep route. And they're going to start learning if Fitzroy keeps overshooting these balls. We might see a pick here soon.
Well, that, and they found Brown underneath for the big 13-yard gain that was a first down. I'm surprised they haven't ran a few more patterns underneath. Fitzroy, just making one read on his pass and putting it up in the air. Big booming punt from the leg of Dwayne Brown.
And Kroll has to go all the way back to his 10 to pick it up. He will, and he'll be knocked down at about the 15-yard line. He misread that in the air. That thing shot about 5 yards over his head, bounced. He had to pick it up and then go about 5 before he ran into a wall of Vikings.
We got a flag on the play on the far side. I didn't see what it was, unless it was a little bit of extracurricular. Brown and the blocker were kind of shoving back and forth, and looks like it's going to be on the Indian. It's just a matter of what the call is.
It'll be our first penalty of the game, coming to the 3:40. Oh, second. I keep forgetting that offsides.
Dead ball personal foul on the Vikings.
So that changes Shadyside's field position
drastically.
Yeah.
You get out from the 15, get out from the shadow of your own end zone. Now you're at the 30-yard line.
So with 3:46 to go here in the first quarter, Shadyside Academy has shown a healthy dose of Eric Harris, 4 carries already on the night. 1 pass play was successful for 7 yards. But other than that, it's just been number 7, the senior, Eric Harris, being the workhorse for Shadyside. They'll come out in their shotgun formation. Chris Gutman, the quarterback. Harris to his right. Trips to his left. They'll send McGuig in motion, and Gutman will roll to his right. He'll look downfield. Ball will be tipped as he throws it and falls incomplete.
That's a 6', 240 frame of Maurice Stankus getting his hand in the way. He is a heck of an outside linebacker for this team, just all over the place. He's a ball-hawking linebacker, and I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year some smaller schools like a Cal or someone to look at him as a collegiate player. You see Dwayne Brown on this team. He's a junior already getting offers from big-time Division I teams, and kind of forget about guys like Stankus who have complete athletic ability and are big bodies.
Twins to his side. They'll send one in motion. Gutman, it'll be a keeper. And that is not Chris Gutman, and that is Goodings. And Goodings loses a few as he's on the quarterback keeper. Off to the left side, and Sky Moore, I apologize on that carry, loses 4 on the play. Wayne Brown on the tackle. We mentioned his name, and he makes the tackle.
And Brown's really, as you can tell already, the do-everything for this team, and that's why it hurt them for those 3 games that he was out with his concussion. He's the punter, he's one of the receivers, he's at times the quarterback, the defensive standout, the running back. If they could line him up at defensive tackle and linebacker at the same time, I think they may.
They could just clone him 10 times. They'd be unstoppable. Twins to each side. Sidecar to his left is Harris. Gutman throws, tipped at the line again. It looked like number 77 got his big paw on that one for Apollo Ridge.
6'6", 330, Eric Moran.
Yeah. Watching him coming off the field. You know, some D1 teams are just looking at that size right there.
You know, surprisingly, just based off of the size, he hasn't gotten anything D1. I couldn't tell you why.
Shadyside will come out, and we got a whistle. They were looking to punt, but we're going to have to wait on that. Timeout on Apollo Ridge, their first, team's second. Or team second of the game, team's first. Shadyside took one earlier in the game as well. MSA Sports continues our coverage of Week 6 of the 2015 WPIL football season on Saturday with 3 more games, including Chartiers Valley at Moon in Class AAA and a pair of Class AA contests with Southmoreland at Burgettstown and New Brighton at Freedom. It's Saturday WPIL football only here on the MSA Sports Network. Myself and Rob Longo will be at the Southmoreland Burgettstown game tomorrow.
MSA Sports has you covered this fall on the court and on the pitch. Tune into our hometown soccer broadcast featuring Upper St. Clair, Penn Trafford, Fox Chapel, and Seneca Valley. We also have our hometown girls volleyball broadcast featuring West Allegheny, Central Valley, Brentwood, Freeport, Bishop Canevin, Avonworth, Southside Beaver, and Chartiers Houston. Hometown soccer and girls volleyball broadcast are only here on the MSA Sports Network, and I will be at a soccer game tomorrow afternoon, Upper St. Clair and Mount Lebo. Should be a very good game.
Snap is good, and the punt is away. Brown will get it at his own 46. Dance a little bit at the 50. Go to the right side. He's got blocking. He's got one man to beat. He's got a blocker in front of him, though, and taken down with a nice tackle there by Eric Harris. And Brown gets himself into Shadyside Academy territory down to the 26-yard line. Eric Harris with a nice touchdown-saving tackle there.
Good job of Harris to make the tackle, but that's the thing that you get out of Brown is just the quick strike ability. The don't know what's going to happen if you're going to face him. And very fast, very quick, and reads a field very well. And we have Stankus in the backfield now as I think Brown's on the sideline taking a breath and getting a drink of water.
Fitzroy under center, and he'll get the snap and hand it off. And the running back will get to the 20-yard line, and that is Stankus.
Little interesting story on Maurice Stankus. He came into the year with number 21, decided before the first game that he was going to change his number to number 6. Did that because he's a Jerome Bettis fan, and he's a Notre Dame fan.
Jerome Bettis wore number 6
at Notre Dame.
give it to Stankus off the right side of the I formation, upended down to the 16-yard line. Flag thrown by the man in the white hat, and we all know what that usually is.
It's going to be a holding penalty. He gets, I believe that'll be marked off from the end of the run because that's basically where the hold had occurred. They'll get the 2 yards. Stankus will as he checks out and Brown checks in. Make it, though, a 2nd and 15-ish.
2:02 to go here, first quarter. We're scoreless here from Apollo Ridge. Brandon Showers
14.
with me. I'm Scott Majeski. 2nd, and it'll be a long 14. Ball at the 29-yard line. Fitzroy under center, offset eye to his left. It's Brown, the deep back, and they'll hand it off to him off the left side. He'll go to that left side, find a hole, and be brought down. No, he's still going up on his feet and now knocked out of bounds after a nice pickup. I see another yellow flag down on the field. And Apollo Ridge is starting to walk back.
Yeah, there was a big-time hold. It looked like an offensive lineman might have tackled someone.
Allowed to tackle on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, resulting in a holding. And another holding call on Apollo Ridge on this drive. And it's killed a couple big plays. That play, huge. Great break for Shady side. Sets up a long 2nd down and 20.
I was going to say he got 4 on that run before the hold occurred.
So Apollo Ridge will break huddle. A punt return that got them all the way down to about the 25-yard line, and now they're pushed back here on 2nd down to the 34. 2nd down and a long 19. Bunch twins, man in motion. Fitzroy gets it, will roll to his right. Looking downfield, still looking now, unveils, got a man open, and Apollo Ridge is on the board first. It's Galloway for the touchdown, a 34-yard touchdown strike from Fitzroy to Galloway, and Apollo Ridge is on the board.
That's that tight end just sneaking out from his down position, is able to get open behind the last line of defense. So far, Fitzroy's 2 for 5, 47 yards, and a touchdown on the game. 34 of them were that touchdown pass to Lloyd Galloway. In comes Megan Benelli for the extra point.
The snap is here, and Benelli's kick is up, and it's through the uprights, good. Apollo Ridge opens the scoring here in this Allegheny Conference clash. They lead 7-0 over the Shadyside Academy Indians. 1:21 to go, first quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by ProGrass First and Turf, and you are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Fitzroy to Galloway, a 34-yard strike, puts Apollo Ridge up 7-0 over the Shadyside Academy Indians here from Apollo Ridge. Brandon Showers with me. I'm Scott Majeski. We thank you for joining us here for MSA's continuing coverage of the WPIL football. As Benelli will hit a squib kick, and this one will bounce past a couple of the middle guys for Shadyside. It's going to be picked up at the 15-yard line. Roman is going to be punt down at about the 17-yard line.
Big time hit from Jeremy DiBernardo for the Vikings there. Able to just lay him out on the kick return, and he ran right into DiBernardo's arms. Benelli, no stranger to the squib kick, if you will, going to Marshall University next year on a soccer scholarship. Basically, that looked like a free kick from the corner, trying to put it in near the post.
Placed it perfectly. And it has Shadyside Academy first down and 10 at their 17. 1 minute 15 to go here, first quarter. It'll be Chris Gutman in shotgun formation. Or I apologize, that's Goodings, but he's going to give it to his up man, and he's going to fight for a good pickup on the play. 44 again, that's McGrigg, and he gets about 5 on the carry. Off the left side there.
Quigg with the fullback dive, just picked up as many yards as he could. We're getting close to the end of the first quarter, about 50 seconds, a little bit less than a minute to go in the first quarter with Apollo Ridge up 7-0.
All turf field here, and after the rain of today, you can see some of the mud creeping up here on this turf. Here's the snap, and they're going to give it to McQuigg again, and McQuigg's going to fullback dive that one up the middle. Maybe picks up about 2 on the play, running between those guards and tackles.
Good piece of running from McQuigg there. I think he did get 2, makes it a 3rd and 3, 3rd and very manageable. That's a long 3rd and 4, sorry.
Well, let's see if Shadyside runs another play here. They don't have to with the play clock, and they will choose not to. It's Apollo Ridge 7, Shadyside Academy 0 here at homecoming from Apollo Ridge. The Vikings are leading the Indians 7-0. And we'll have the second quarter for you coming up after these quick little announcements. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass First and Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
UPMC Sports Medicine is the region's largest and most experienced center dedicated to caring for athletes of all levels. And as we celebrate more than 25 years of world-class care, we're proud to offer more services, have more physicians, and treat more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in the region. Why would you choose to go anywhere else? To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Start of the second quarter here from Apollo Ridge. Brandon Showers with me. I'm Scott Majeski. Shadyside down 7-0 to Apollo Ridge. Oh, it's a little halfback pass play to start the second quarter for the Shadyside Academy Indians and falls short. They had their man open in the flat there as Jordan Kahn, but it was underthrown by Yost.
Clayton Kroll was wide open down on a post route as well. Out-of-town score in Freeport and Highlands. Other game of note in the Allegheny Conference, knotted up at 0 at the end of 1.
And that's a battle for first place here in the Allegheny Conference.
That will determine first place in the conference.
So Shadyside again will punt it away, and this one's a low-line drive punt, just missing the heads of the up-back lineman blocking, and it'll be Brown, and Shipman, and Shipman tripped up by Goodings at the 40, but he's able to fall down to the 35-yard line.
And that's what Apollo Ridge and John Skiba will do is if they notice that you're going to kick away from Brown, they'll put a second return man back there and kind of split them out. That way they can pick up some yardage on the return as long as it's kicked in bounce. And Dylan Shipman in his own right is a heck of a return man on special teams. I saw him with an 86-yard touchdown return against Highlands to start the game out.
Well, Fitzroy's got great field position, does the sophomore quarterback. He comes under center, one to his side each way, and he'll hand it off to Brown off the right side. Cuts back inside, spin move, blocking downfield, using his speed, and he's into the end zone for the 35-yard touchdown for Dwayne Brown, and what a strike there for Apollo Ridge.
One play, 35 yards, Dwayne Brown. Completely sprung by his blocking. A nice piece of blocking downfield. I believe that was Danny Orquist, the wide receiver, working his man downfield, doing his best impression of Hines Ward and just continuing to drive through his block.
Benelli will come out to attempt the extra point. Brown We heard all about his athleticism. You've seen it before. It's my first time seeing him, and I saw it all there on display on that run. The speed, the moves, the cutbacks, everything. Kick is up by Manelli, and that kick is good. Well, at the 11:31 mark, Apollo Ridge strikes on the Brown 35-yard touchdown run. They now lead over the Shadyside Academy Indians 14-0 here in the second quarter. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
Starting to see some rain showers now appearing in the lights.
Oh, poor
Here at
Jess.
Apollo Ridge, and Jess Levo just texted me with a "it's raining" and a sad face emoji. So, and she is our camera woman up above us.
Poor Jess. Someone get her a rain jacket or a poncho or something. Look out. Nope, no.
No, and it is Yost who's going to pick it up at the 30 on the ensuing kickoff, and he'll get up to about the 36, 37-yard line.
Brett Coleman with the tackle there on specialties. Did a good job wrapping up around the hips and just driving through.
We're at that time of year weather-wise where you never know what you're going to get here in the fall of October. Later in the month, we may see some snow showers.
Don't say that word.
I'm a winter fan. I like winter.
I love winter too, but I want to be out in archery woods with fall before I'm out in archery woods with winter.
Winters have been getting worse and worse here, and that's tough for a baseball coach like myself. It's tough to even play any games in April. It's still snowing then, as Harris will take the handoff up the middle, go off left side and get about 4, gets across the 40-yard line. Well, near official will now say he's at the 40. Far one was giving him across the 40, and they'll land right at the 40. 3-yard pickup. When admitted or not, Brandon, the snow's coming.
I know it's coming, and I don't mind it coming in November and December. Let's get through October without it.
Fair enough, fair enough. It'll be Goodings in shotgun formation. He sends a man in motion off his left side, and he'll hand it off to Harris's deep back, and Harris is going to be met after he gets about a couple on the play. Second tier there, linebacker making the play on Harris. About 3 again on the play. So 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Indians.
Watch for Galloway coming in off his outside linebacker position. These are the type of plays he comes up big on from watching them.
Twins to both sides. They'll send McGuig in motion, make it trips left. He'll be Goodings, quarterback keeper off the left side, lowers his shoulder, first down across the 49-yard line, and they'll put him right there at that 49. Sky Moore, I apologize, on the carry. So Sky Moore is wearing 10 tonight, even though he's listed as 12 on the roster.
How many yards they get on that run there was from Moore?
Looked like he picked up about
8-yard run.
8 yards. I'll agree with that.
So let's change that so I'm not continuing to do the same thing that we've been continuing to do all game.
Moore comes out in shotgun formation, sends a man in motion. He'll hand it off to Harris, and Harris up the middle gains about 1 on the play, maybe 2. But they keep going with this wildcat formation, sending that receiver in motion and setting up a 2nd down and long. And Shadyside looking to get on the scoreboard, down by 14, 9:30 to go here, second quarter, moving left to right here on Apollo Ridge homecoming night. A good crowd on hand. Trips right as they break the huddle. It'll be Moore, and Moore will get the snap, and it will fake the pitch to Harris, taking off right side himself. He's got blocking down, 30, 25, 20. Flag comes in down to the 10-yard line.
Two flags. Two flags same spot. It had to have been the same foul scene. That might have been a block in the back.
Yeah, this flag remains around the 27-yard line.
So get 22
The receivers
there.
were blocking there, where there was a hold, block in the back, legal hands to the face, but Shady Side has moved back to the original line of scrimmage. Oh. Call is on Apollo. Oh,
They switched
now
it.
they switched it.
Well, the signal was an illegal block to the back. Which you can't
Do
do
on-
as a defensive player. So I'm like, Still got the first down. 10-yard penalty.
Which works for Shady Side there. They get the first down, but they could have been sitting down there pretty inside the goal line or inside the red zone. But now they stand at the 39.
Referee signal ready for play, and Shady Side's already at the line of scrimmage, not wasting any time.
All Ridge also breaks huddles well. It's Moore with Harris behind him, trips to his left. That is on the far side of the field. It will be Moore handing off to Harris off the left side. Finds his hole, gets across the 35-yard line. Sets up a second down.
I think they're going to give him 5 on that carry. Good piece of running out of Harris there. I gave him 4. Sorry. My fault.
And Coleman on the tackle for the Apollo Ridge Vikings.
They have him at 8 carries for 24 yards now, Eric Harris. Sky Moore, 3 for 27. Short of that, there hasn't been much offense on this Shady Side.
Seen one pass completion. And that was on the first series of the game for the Indians. Just 2 pass attempts. Moore hands it off to Harris. Harris up the middle, slips past a tackle, breaks another one as he gets first down yardage to the 25-yard line. Eric Harris showing a little nifty moves there. And he's a tough man to bring down. He's small to the ground, 5'8", 160.
Tough, powerful legs and fast legs. That does a good job. And I was talking in the commercial break there. The vision of Dwayne Brown is what sets him above and beyond what you see at the high school level. That's what makes him so good. Harris doesn't have very bad vision at all either, making sure the hole opens up and hitting it.
Moore will fake the pitch on the option to the right. He'll keep it himself, and he still continues to keep it himself and battles for a few yards on that carry, maybe 3 on the play. He did have the pitch option to Harris. He just maybe not have saw him.
Good job of keeping that, though. He knew he was going to pick up a few yards off at Harris. Might have ended up losing yards. Number 7 for Apollo Ridge, whom we don't have on our roster anywhere, came in and didn't break down on Moore.
So Shady Side putting a drive together here. 7 minutes and ticking to go here in the second quarter. Ball at the Apollo Ridge 22. Trips to the left. Moore out of shotgun. We'll hand it off to Harris off right side. Big hole lines up for Harris. He meets 2 Vikings, though, as he crosses the 20 and is brought down immediately there.
Give him 3 on that play. Good piece of running out of Harris. That's a 3rd and manageable now. Make it 3rd and 4. Not a bad 3rd down conversion opportunity here. Already at 10 carries on the game. The majority of them, though, on this drive.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Eric Harris and Sky Moore in this drive for Shady Side. Receiver splits to each side. McGuig to the left of Moore. They send a man in motion. It's Kroll, and they will hand it off to number 21. He'll bounce his way ahead for the first down for Shady Side. That's Brian Foster, who had 2 touchdowns last week against Summit Academy, a junior running back. They're high on him. And Foster picks up the first down for Shady Side.
They're going to give him 7 yards on that play. Yep, 7 yards on that play. Nice piece of running out of Foster. That's the 4th first down of the game for Shady Side. All of them on this drive so far.
Talk about an efficient drive for the Indians. After the kickoff, after the second score of the game for the Vikings, Shady Side has been moving the ball down the field.
I'd say head coach Dave Havern might have said something to his offensive line in that last defensive series, but I don't think he did because he's sitting to our left. Timeout, Apollo Ridge.
That'll be their second timeout.
Valley's up 12-6 over West Shamokin. That's also an Allegheny Conference game. If Valley were to... These 2 teams are West Shamokin fans in that game.
Yep.
Because if Valley can lose that game, it'll take Apollo Ridge and Shady Side both and give them an opportunity to make the playoff picture.
For more updated football scores on Friday nights, check out MSA Sports on our mobile device at m.scores.msasports.net. Also check the Twitter feed as well.
I want to remind you, coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports halftime show. This week, Don Rebel and the Post-Gazette's Mike White discuss the WPIAL 4,000-yard rushing club. Can you name anyone in that?
He ran for Fort Cherry in the 80s. The name I'm just escaping me right now, though. A Fort Cherry runner back in the way days. Ran for IUP Division II. Going to Cal U, he was all over IUP. Hopefully I can remember the name before the night's over.
Well, just listen to the halftime show.
2 more. He gives it to Harris. Harris off the right side and walks himself into the end zone there. Does Eric Harris from the 13-yard line. And a touchdown for Shadyside Academy. Eric Harris just had nowhere to go. He had no one in front of him. He just ran the ball down the right lane and walked himself in untouched for the score. Shadyside on the board.
Scott, I think you could have ran through that hole.
Yeah.
That hole was wide open. Harris just had to have been amazed that hole was so open. Whenever he grabbed the football, as Nathan Genstein is on for the kick, the junior kicker.
And Genstein's kick is up, and that kick is good. Shadyside cuts the lead to 7. They're on the board at the 5:35 mark here in the second quarter, but Apollo Ridge still with the advantage. It's 14-7, Apollo Ridge over Shadyside Academy. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
We welcome you back here to Apollo Ridge. It's homecoming night here at Apollo Ridge. For Brandon Showers, I'm Scott Majeski. We thank you for joining us here on the MSA Sports Network for our continuing coverage of WPIAL high school football.
And we not only do football, we do basketball, we do baseball, we do soccer. And speaking of baseball, I just got informed, Knox star pitcher Cole Shinsky just came out for the football team this week. He has a 60-yard touchdown pass, a 1-yard touchdown run, just coming out for the football team this week. A heck of an arm on the kid. And an interception as well. Look out.
Here we go as Apollo Ridge on the ensuing kickoff, and it's a big return there for, that is number
Brown.
6.
That was Brown. That was Brown.
Oh, that is Brown. That is a number 5.
Yeah.
These yellow numberings, that's tough on my eyes. The 5s and the 6s.
Well,
I think the way I'm going to tell them apart is Brown's got that one pad that's flinging out of his jersey. I think that's going to be my key go-to here in this game.
And Brown's one of those guys, he won't shy away from contact. And he didn't on that sideline.
Yeah, he did not.
Neither will Stankus, but Vincenzia for Shady Side tried to hit him on the sidelines, and Brown got the better of him as he was stepping out of bounds.
So Fitzroy will come out, first down and 10 from his own 30. Under the center, he gets the snap, hands it off to the right side. Brown's got nowhere to go there. He's met in the backfield, led by number 74 for Shadyside Academy. There is no 74. Oh, Trip Callahan on that tackle. Trip Callahan wears number 77 for Shadyside.
He's been around for a while, too. We were talking in the pregame off the air. Doc Shaletka, it seems like that name's been at Shadyside Academy for 7 gazillion years now. And Trip Callahan's been around for a while, too. Baseball stud out of him.
Rolling to his left. They throw down the field, and it is bobbled but caught. And down to the 50-yard line, a first down on the left side there goes Dylan Shipman, the senior, and Apollo Ridge at midfield, first down and 10.
21-yard gain on that play. Now at this point, Fitzroy's 3 for 6 for 68 yards and a touchdown, a much more respectable game after going 1 for 4 for 13 yards to start the game out.
Huge gain for Apollo Ridge as they look to score here before halftime.
Keep in mind, Apollo gets the ball to start the second half as well, so depending on when they punch it in, this could be a 14-point swing.
Fitzroy under center, miscommunication with his receiver off to the right side there, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Shipman was running a go route. Fitzroy thought that he was going to check back for the ball to get it. I'll tell you what, if he would have checked back for the ball, that defensive back on the far side, Sky Moore, he was giving up some ground. Shipman would have caught that ball and had a lot of ground in front of him to run and pick up speed.
Sky Moore also slipping on the play as well. That could have he's rough turf.
7 yards off the ball.
Here's a handoff. Oh, a little hurdle there for Stankus. And he gets off to the left side, picks up a good amount of yards, about maybe 7 on the play there off to the left side, sets up a 3rd down and very manageable for Apollo Ridge as they look like they're going for a little hurry up here.
Stankus did a good job getting up in the air. The other thing you can look for on Stankus, he's already started the pink out with his pink towel hanging down from him as well.
And a couple players on each side supporting the pink.
And we will, what is that, the 31st, the last day of October, we'll be in pink. Look out.
And here comes a chance here, off to the left, and fumbles the football, does the quarterback, Fitzroy, and the ball will squirt out of bounds. Shady side forces it. They were looking for little rollout to the left there, and when he faked the handoff and rolled to his left, he saw a wall of white shirts in front of him.
You're going to give him a loss of 5, 6 on that play?
I think a loss of probably 6 on that play.
And Fitzroy would have been better off to just throw the ball away or take the sack because he wouldn't have lost all as much yardage. Just step up into it and take the sack.
That's a huge break for Shayside now with 3:35 to go here in this first half. The punt away is a sky-high punt. Yost will watch it bounce at the 30 and it'll roll out of bounds at around the Indian 27-yard line. So with 3:23 to go here, well, the clock keeps rolling. Clock is continuing to roll, but I think they'll set it back to 3:23.
I don't know.
As it continues to go at 3:13 mark. Shady side looking to get something to go here before halftime.
Still rolling.
Yeah, that clock hasn't stopped yet. Now it does. 20 seconds burned off that clock. 3:03 it sits at. Ball went out of bounds at the 3:23 mark. Huh. Well,
Shady side sideline's not saying anything, so they either didn't see it, didn't notice it. Head coach Dave, now they put it at 3:35. They put a half a minute back on the clock. Okay.
Well.
I've seen that cost a team a game with the clock either way. And I'll tell you what, if you put too much time on the clock, that's going to give Shady side the chance to come in to score, and that's exactly what they did there. That's why I think high school refs should have microphones, because they would have been able to get on that microphone and say where to reset the clock to.
Moore comes out, sends a man in motion. We'll get the handoff off the right side. It's Harris. Harris finds a little bit to about the 30-yard line off the right side there. A couple Indian blockers in front of him. One of them was Clayton Kroll, number 15, also 64 out there for Shady Side, and Tommy Thorpe. Tommy Thorpe, one of the other senior offensive linemen for the Shady Side Academy squad. 3:10 and ticking away here.
Correctly
Apollo Ridge. Now, correctly. 2nd and 7. Shotgun formation. Moore will hand it off to Harris off the left side, and Harris will get bunched up by a few Vikings after he picks up maybe 2 on the play.
2 will be a generous spot. It looks closer to 1, but I'm going to give him 2. Already at 13 carries for Harris on this game. And again, the majority of them occurred in the second drive. He was at 6 going into that second drive, and he ended up getting another 5 in that last drive there.
Here's the snap, and Moore will drop back a few more. Now launch it down the field and overshoots Goodings, number 12, on that play. Chris Berry.
Do you have a Barry on your roster?
I do not have a Barry on my roster.
Okay.
Thought it would be Chris Woodings. That might be who they may be thinking about. I think Chris Woodings on our roster, the roster that I have, those two numbers are switched at 10 and 12. Either way, though, a quick 3 and out for Shady side and gives Apollo Ridge a chance with 2:17 to go here in the first half to get a quick strike. Big booming punt, and it goes over the head of Brown, and Brown's just going to watch it bounce all the way down to the Apollo Ridge 15, in between the 15 and the 10, we'll say the 14-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to spot that just inside the 15. Now, with the quick strike ability of this Apollo Ridge offense, namely Dwayne Brown and Maurice Stankus, you can't count them out for not being able to put the ball in the end zone here, but I'd be interested to see what head coach John Skiba's first play call is going to be from this line of scrimmage here, and I think that'll determine a lot on what Apollo Ridge does. If you can get a draw and get a lot of yardage out of Brown or Stankus on the first carry, run it from there. Looks like Stankus in the sidecar, Fitzroy on the shotgun.
And he'll hand it off to Stankus. Stankus was on the left side, and he'll run to the right side there and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. If he didn't, he lost one. Good style there. Defense by Shayside's defensive line.
Yeah, now's where you're going to see John Skiba just kind of let the clock run. He's only with one timeout. Now you're going to give it to your athlete and Brown in the backfield and see what he can do.
Fitzroy will hand it off to Brown. Brown off the left side, 20, and breaks the tackle, gets across to 25 on that left side. Clock will stop on the first down and the out of bounds there for Brown. Picked up about 12 on that play.
I think they gave him 13. They look like they're spotting at the 26. They got 4 first downs in the game now, 7 carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown for Dwayne Brown.
Also a few tackles on defense. Mr. Everything for them. I'm sure he's glad to be back. Couldn't wait for this night.
If you would have seen his face at Freeport whenever he was out, oh my.
Under center, Fitzroy will hand it off to Brown. Brown bounces it to the left side. Nice cutback. Oh, another one up the 40, 45, 50 down the left side. 45 steps out of bounds at around the 43-yard line. A couple nice cuts.
And that's that vision I was talking about. He should have been tackled about 3 times for maybe a gain of 4 or 5, and he cut it left. Then he cut it back to the right and back to the left again. Was able to pick up the big-time first down. That's a 24, 29, we'll say 31-yard gain.
Sets them in Indians territory, 1st and 20. Apollo Ridge has, I believe, 2 timeouts. Shady side with 1.
Another score in from out of town in single A. Greensburg Central Catholic and Leechburg knotted up at 0. That's a shocker.
Fitzroy under center, drops back. 3 steps all day back there. Still all day. Now tucks and runs to the left side, 40. Met by Villani at the 40. And third, maybe they give him forward progress to the 39. Either way, though, pick up about 4 on the play. Nice heads-up play. And we got a timeout. Apollo Ridge, they burn their 2nd of the half.
That's their 3rd.
So they have used all of their timeouts.
Should have. But
the scoreboard says 1 and 1 for each teams.
Gave them 3 on that play. I did the Greensburg Central playoff game last year when they were knocked out. That game was at Neshannock. I believe that's who that was against as well. I think that was the first round of the playoffs. That's a Greensburg Central team that isn't a bad team, and Leechburg's hanging with them surprisingly enough.
Well, that score just announced here from the
He must be listening to our broadcast.
Yeah, he must be. Must be peeping in our window, keeping the door open, cracked a little bit. Once again, the halftime show with Don Rebel and Mike White. They'll be talking about 4,000-yard rushing club this week. Mike White from the Post-Gazette and Don Rebel. We'll have it all for you, and we'll have that after a little recap of the first half. That's all here on the MSA Sports. 2nd down and 7, minute 9 to go, first half. Fitzroy out of the timeout, gets the shotgun snap, looking in his pocket, still looking, now rolls to the right. Now being chased and brought down for a loss of about 2 on the play.
And that's the one thing a sophomore starting quarterback you'll see a lot of times happen. On a play like that, you're outside the tackle box, throw the ball for the line of scrimmage and hit the first row of the stands. Just throw it away, stop the clock, and live to play another down. Don't lose the 2 yards, and that's that youth and that inexperience that Fitzroy has.
Chase Villani on that tackle. Guinea's made the pass too. 3rd down and 9, still all day. Throws it from his shotgun formation and overshoots his intended target down the field. And it was Galloway, I think he was trying to go to his tight end, who he hit on the touchdown reception of 34 yards in the first quarter.
That's the opposite there. You want to hold on to that ball as long as possible in that scenario if you can't find anyone open, because now at this point you're going to give Shadyside the ball back pending a Dwayne Brown punt. That is the one advantage of having someone like Brown back there to punt the ball. As a Freeport score comes in at the half, 0-0.
Try to run down a lot of the scores that we can.
Well, those are 2 defenses. Freeport's averaging giving up 12 points a game. Highland 16.
Punt is away by Brown, scooped up by Shadyside's Upman Kroll. Here comes a late flag thrown in, and most likely
that's a block
in the back by the Indians with 22 seconds to go here in the first half. Knowing Shadyside, I wouldn't expect them to go for anything big on this play.
I think they'll do
the first half.
do the same thing, run a draw with Harris. See what you can pick up. If you can get a lot of yardage on the play,
got a timeout to burn.
Right, you got 1 to burn. You got 1 left. Be a block in the back.
So this will move Shadyside all the way down
to the 9.
To their own 9-yard line.
They might not do anything here. Just knee it out. Knee it out to the end of the half.
And they go down by 7 here at Apollo Ridge on their homecoming night. Could have been a lot worse. Indians really put together a really solid second quarter drive to get their first points on the board. It'll be Gutman, and he'll take the shotgun snap and knee it. And that will take us to halftime as both teams will start walking off the field. Well, when we come back, we'll have a recap of the first half, and then we'll get you to the halftime show with Don Rebel and Mike White. Shadyside down 7 to Apollo Ridge. It's 14-7. The Apollo Ridge Vikings here on homecoming night looking to get back to 500 on the year, and Shadyside Academy trying to do the same thing. Both these teams trying to keep their playoff hopes alive in the Allegheny Conference. We'll have halftime scores and recaps for you after this quick break. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
MSA Sports broadcasts are now available on both Android and iOS devices. Just navigate to the game of your choice, and on your mobile device, press the arrow or play button. It's that easy. No app needed. No matter where you are, MSA Sports content is available at your fingertips via your iPad, Android phone, iPod, and iPhone. Anytime, anywhere, always there. The MSA Sports Network.
Attention high school seniors. As one of America's top colleges, you'll want to join Grove City College for its Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, October 10th. You'll have the opportunity to explore more than 50 majors and learn more about the value of a Grove City College education. In fact, Grove City College has the lowest cost of any private four-year college in Pennsylvania. Register online today for our Saturday, October 10th, Senior Crimson Day at gcc.edu or call 724-458-2100. Grove City College, because faith and freedom matter.
The MSA Sports Network is more than just high school football this fall. Log on to MSASports.net for coverage of all other scholastic fall sports with schedules, results, and rankings of boys and girls soccer. We'll also have results and postseason coverage of girls tennis, boys and girls golf, and cross country. Plus results and rankings along with weekly matches involving the MSA Sports Hometown Girls Volleyball program. The best coverage of all WPIL fall sports is only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Welcome you back to Apollo Ridge. Scott Majeski with you and Brandon Showers to my right. It is homecoming here from Apollo Ridge, where they lead those home Vikings 14-7 over the Shadyside Academy Indians. First half rundown of the scoring. At the 121 mark in the first quarter, it was Fitzroy to Galloway on a 34-yard touchdown pass, and that made it 7-0 for the Vikings of Apollo Ridge. Then in the second quarter, the 11:31 mark, a Dwayne Brown 35-yard touchdown run. He made it look easy after juking a few defenders, made it 14-0. Shadyside then put together on their ensuing drive after that kickoff. Eric Harris 13-yard touchdown run made it 14-7. Vikings at the 5:35 mark after a long sustained drive by the Shadyside Academy Indians. Brandon, it's been a playoff-like feel for this game. Tough conditions. They're playing on a field that's got a lot of mud tearing up on them, but, you know, with these two teams, this is the kind of field they're built for, running the ball.
Ground and pound and hope not to turn it over and get the big play running the ball. Let's run through some first half stats before we send it away to the studio.
Yep.
We have a little bit of time, considering it is homecoming, so we have a little bit of time on that front. For Shadyside, Chris Gutman, 1 for 3, 7 yards. Sky Moore, he's 0 for 1 passing. Gutman, 2 carries for -6 yards. Eric Harris, the big-time runner for Shadyside, 13 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Brian Foster has himself a carry for 7 yards. Neil McQuigg, 2 carries for 6 yards. And Sky Moore, the surprise quarterback, if you will, from the Shadyside side, now 4 carries for 30 yards. McQuigg, the only receptions for 7 yards, 3 penalties for 25, and 4 first downs for the Indians. Over on the other side of things, Kyle Fitzroy, 3 for 8, 68 yards and a touchdown. Dwayne Brown has a pass attempt, 0 for 1. He has 8 carries for 87 yards and a touchdown. Maurice Stankus, 4 for 13. Brett Coleman, 1 for 1 yard. Kyle Fitzroy has 3 carries, -5 yards. Dylan Shipman has lost a yard rushing. Shipman has 1 catch for 21 yards. Dwayne Brown, 1 for 13. And Lloyd Galloway, the touchdown reception of 34 yards from Kyle Fitzroy earlier in the game. 3 penalties for 31 yards and 5 first downs for the Vikings, as they just get on to the announcing of the homecoming court at this point.
It is Allegheny Conference, and we are thankful that you are joining us here tonight for tonight's game is brought to you by ProGrass First and Turf, our live stream game of the week here on the MSA Sports Network as well. Jess Levo, our camera woman, up above us here tonight for this one. Brandon, anything else you want to go over here before we send it off to Mr. Rebel and Mr. White?
Not right now. Let's do some math, and we'll send it away to Rebel and White and let them take care of the halftime festivities, and we'll have some total offensive yards whenever we come back to you here.
All right, sounds good. We'll take a quick commercial break and then lead right into the halftime show with Don Rebel and Mike White as they discuss the WPIL's 4,000-yard rushing club.
From the day we were born, I've always been ahead of my twin sister. First to talk, first to walk, and I'm always first to try the latest and greatest of everything.
So, you have everything checking from Dollar Bank?
Of course I do.
Wait, what? You know, everything checking. There's no monthly service fee. It is online banking, alerts, mobile deposit, 55,000 free ATMs, and 1.60% APY on savings.
Really?
Plus the Dollar Bank app to stay connected to it all.
When did you get that?
And now, I can be the first to pay with my Dollar Bank debit MasterCard from my mobile phone.
Your total is $42.90.
I have to go.
Bye-bye, sis.
Ask for new everything checking only from Dollar Bank. Call 1-800-242-BANK, stop by, or visit dollarbank.com for details. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate and service fee waiver require everything checking with 6 qualifying monthly payments. 0.25% annual percentage yield over $20,000. Subject to change without notice. Dollar Bank, member FDIC.
It's the Week 6 edition of the Halftime Show here on the MSA Sports Network. I'm Don Rebel. Welcome back to Mike White of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. some history made last week in the WPIAL, although maybe 15, 20 years ago it would have been a bigger story than it was last week.
Yeah, probably 25 years ago or so. We thought we'd talk about that 4,000-yard club that used to be really exclusive. We bring it up because Anthony Welsh from Beth Center High School went over 4,000 yards last week. And
congratulations.
That's right. He gets a ring. But, Don, if he got a paragraph, a sentence in our paper, and, other places didn't get a lot, but
back in the day, and we're here to talk about what does it mean, the 4,000 yards, and some interesting factoids about the leading rushers. But a fact is, 63 players have now, in the WPIAL history, run for 4,000 career yards, one from the City League. You went back before the 1990s. Before the 1990s, only 7 players ran for 4,000 yards. So does it mean as much still? Which, in your mind, does it? Well, I look at it two ways. If you're running for a team that isn't playing a lot of playoff games, then I think it still holds pretty good meaning. You're averaging 100 yards rushing a game pretty much every game for 4 years, and there aren't a whole lot of freshmen that are averaging 100 yards a game. So it does say something. The more success your team has, the more playoff games they play, maybe it becomes a little more watered down then.
And also the more times you carry the football is a key.
Yeah.
Like Russell Shell, nothing again, he was great, but carried the football over 1,000 times in his career. That's why he's the all-time leading rusher in WPIAL. But only 7 players before the 1990s reached it. Since then, 56 players have run for 4,000. I think that 5,000 is now the benchmark of greatness. You look, 15 only have reached 5,000 in WPIAL history. 15 have reached 5,000. Among them, 2 have 6,000. Among them, 1 has 7,000, and 1 with 9,000, Russell Shell. So, but I want to bring this up before we get to the break. Couple factoids about these leading rushers. How about 3 of the top 8 rushers in WPIAL history are currently playing Division I major college high football and doing pretty well. Although only one of those three, though, is playing running back.
That's how it works nowadays.
Russell Shell from West Virginia, all-time leading running. He's doing okay. He's not doing great. But the other 2 are doing very well. Tyler Boyd, how about him? He's a 5th all-time leading rusher, WPIAL receiver to Pitt. And Dre Von Henry is a defensive back. He's the number 8 all-time leading rusher at West Virginia. He was a freshman All-American a year ago, Don.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. A lot of the running backs.
And we'll go to a break. This is going to sound strange because we have Tony Dorsett and Curtis Martin, 2 of the top 10 leading rushers of all time. Ever. And we've had some other real good ones, but we don't produce a lot of big-time running backs from Western Pennsylvania.
Yep. And part of that is what I was just talking about. A lot of them go on and play different positions defensively, or in Tyler Boyd's case, wide receiver. All right, we're going to break it down and talk about this particular area, some of the running backs that have hit that 4,000-yard plateau for their career when the halftime show continues on the MSA Sports Network. When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth. Time to be first.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
It's the halftime show on the MSA Sports Network. We're talking about the 4,000-yard club. Used to be exclusive, not so much anymore, but still impressive. Don Rebel, Mike White, we're not in that list. Combined, we're not on that list. We're in the 4-yard club.
Combined, we don't have any carries.
They won't give us the rock.
No, some interesting facts, I think, on that 4,000-yard club. What does it mean still? But I looked at it, 63 from the WPIL now. 3 of them, Don, I found only 3 that made the NFL. What's interesting is neither of them played running back in the NFL or in college. Justin King from Gateway, Terrell Pryor, quarterback from Jeanette, and LeVar Arrington, the linebacker from North Hills. All-time leading rusher, Russell Shell, 1,107 carries. We mentioned, still, that's 8.2 yards per carry. Only 2 others had over 900 carries for their career, Mike Vernillo and Matt Gavrish. Only 1 over 800 is Rodney Wilson. So most of them have 700 or less carries. So Shell had about 400 carries or more. 300 carries or more than most of the other rushers on the WPL all-time leading rusher list. First known player to reach 4,000 yards, Jerry Patterson, who graduated from 1970 and from Chartiers, Houston. Only 1 City League player. Do you know it?
Bobby Howard.
No, from Langley. He was very good, though. He played running back in the NFL.
Yes.
Perry's Chuck Griffey, not Kevin Barlow either. Perry's Chuck Griffey, 43-32 from 95-98. Aliquippa, 4 members on the 4,000-yard club. That's pretty impressive, the most of any school. Drayvon Henry, Terry Swanson, Pudgy Abercrombie, Chico Williams. Beaver Falls has 3. Did I mention the 3 players who average over 10 yards a carry for their career? Bell Vernon's Nick Kalsovic, 10.6. Essex Law and Valley's Brandon Williams, 10.2. In North Hills' LeVar Arrington was the first running back to reach 4,000 in Quad A. He did it in 1996. Not many Quad A guys have done it, Rob.
Yeah, how many, roughly, you think?
I have that. I think I have it. Let me find it. Do we have it?
I can stall.
Do we have it?
I can sing a show tune.
8 from Quad A.
Okay. How many from 6A? No, that's a totally different subject. All right. Thank you, Mike.
I got to run.
Enjoy the second
I got to run.
Of the game you are listening to here on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention high school seniors, as one of America's top colleges, you'll want to visit Grove City College for Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, November 14th. Explore more than 50 majors and learn more about the value of a Grove City College education. Did you know it's the lowest cost of any private four-year college in Pennsylvania? Register for Senior Crimson Day on Saturday, November 14th at gcc.edu or call 724-458-2100. Grove City College, because faith and learning matter.
MSASports.net is the place to click on every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest MSA Sports Top 10 football rankings.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top 4 WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
Also on Thursday, we preview the college football slate in the region for the upcoming weekend. Then we recap those games each and every Sunday.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
Anytime, anywhere, always there this fall. with the MSA Sports Network at msasports.net.
MSA Sports social media pages are the best spot to find breaking news, scores, links to our articles, and more this season. Follow us on Twitter at MSA Sports and tweet us your scores from around the WPIAL. Also, like us on Facebook to join in on the conversation with over 1,000 other high school sports fans and view pictures and videos of your favorite team. And view our mobile score site at www.msasports.net/m. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
Welcome back to Apollo Ridge here. Brandon Showers alongside me. I'm Scott Majeski. We thank you for joining us here on the MSA Sports Network for continuing coverage of the Apollo Ridge Vikings and the Shadyside Academy Indians. And tonight's game is brought to you once again by ProGrass, first in turf. This game is also being live streamed on the YouTube channel by Jess Levo, who's taking Brandon's coat and going up
so
to
if I get sick, it's on her.
To man the camera for the second half. Brandon, it's 14-7 Apollo Ridge over Shadyside Academy as we start the second half, or we're getting ready to start the second half here from Apollo Ridge.
Let's tie up some loose ends in the first half. First half total plays, 26 plays for Apollo Ridge for 163 total yards. Other side, 25 plays for Shadyside, 99 yards of total offense. And said in the pregame when we called Dawn Rebel, and it's a tradition at MSA Sports, we always make sure we announce who the homecoming queen was, and that was Katrina Bloom, Apollo Ridge's homecoming queen. Katrina Bloom, so you'll have to make sure you get that on the post-game call-in.
Okay.
Dawn only likes one to do the post-game. So.
Katrina Bloom, she looked pretty excited when she got it. It is that season. 'Tis the season of homecoming here, but we're wrapping that up because senior nights are going to start coming up because we are going to be in the final third of the WPIL regular season next week. And, you know, that's when the senior nights start to flow in. Apollo Ridge's senior night will be against West Shamokin on October 30th. They got 2 road games coming up, one at Summit Academy and one at Deer Lakes. And how about the surprise team this year is Deer Lakes in the Allegheny Conference.
I had them last week against Highlands. They are a team much like this Apollo Ridge team, because let's face it, if you take Brown off of this offense, which you did for those 3 weeks when Apollo Ridge lost the 3 games in a row, Deer Lakes is one of those teams, if you take their running back off of the offense, they will struggle. And that's Hunter Barnes. Kid's averaging, well, he was averaging 6.3 going into last week. And a lot of that has to do, speaking of averages, their offensive line from left to right averages 285 pounds. I made mention of them earlier indirectly in their nickname, because all good offensive lines have a nickname.
Yeah.
And that would be the Jolly Green Giants is what they're calling themselves, because they are tall, they are big, and they're fast off the ball as well. Very good offensive line. Highlands was able to beat them last week, and a lot of that had to do with Deer Lakes isn't predicated and built to play from behind. They have the ability to play with the lead on being able to run the rock very well, and that's a lot of times what you'll see out of an Allegheny Conference team. You don't see the run and gun, high-powered offense that Highlands and Freeport carry, and that's why right now they're on top of the conference. You see the offenses that we're seeing tonight with Shadyside and Apollo Ridge. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to pick up yardage running, and if we can break a big run, that'll help us certainly at the end of the night. But if we can't pick up a big run, we're going to get 3 yards, 4 yards a clip, We're going to pick up first downs, and we're going to grind you to death.
Mm-hmm. About to start the second half here. We want to remind you that we want to see your game day smiles on our website. Go to the game or broadcast page for the game that you are at. Select the Add a Photo option in the upper right-hand portion of the screen and browse to the photo you want to upload. Your photo may then appear as one of our spotlight photos on our home page. Or tag your Instagram photos with @MSA Sports. We're all about that social media here on MSA Sports. Only a matter of time before we include Snapchat.
I loved looking around the room at the yearly meeting when Instagram was brought up, and you could see the divide in the room between folks that do social media and folks that are anti-social media almost, and the faces, another social media, and then the younger generation like mine and yours was like, all right, Instagram, I already got that on my phone. It's just a matter of taking a picture and tagging it, whatever. Everyone else is like, how do you tag? What do you mean tag? What's this tag?
Guys like Lee Mon who still have a flip phone.
Although
he takes those pictures, though.
The great Mark Schoss has finally upgraded, and he's upgraded to a smartphone.
Ooh.
I can't wait to do a game with him. See him with his smartphone sitting there trying to tweet out the score or something like that.
That's great. That is great.
Mark Schoss, a member of the network who had some health issues late last year. Making a big-time recovery, though.
Yeah.
I saw him last Saturday. He's doing very, very good. Very good. Especially if you consider everything that happened.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. We are thrilled here at the network to have him back and back to his old self.
God, is he.
We'll start the second half here with Shadyside Academy kicking the ball off. They'll move right to left, or they'll kick the ball right to left. Apollo Ridge will be back to receive it, and they'll be moving left to right. And the run-up and the kick is away. End-over-end kick will bounce at around the 28, scooped up at the 25-30, and met quickly and brought down at around the 28-yard line. That looks like it was number 4, Dylan Shipman, the senior wide receiver back there. And here comes the sophomore Fitzroy, who actually was sort of impressive in that first half. I've seen some the sophomore quarterback I saw last week who plays for Pine Richland.
That's
Phil
not fair.
Jerkovic. That's just not fair of a comparison because that kid is just, wow, and that offense.
He was already offered by Pitt as a sophomore. And the
James
very next
Franklin
day, James Franklin offered him a scholarship to Penn State.
Fitzroy will be under center to start the second half. He'll hand it off to Brown. Brown will break a few tackles back in the middle, runs into his own player, still on his feet, across the 40, first down and more. And what a run. He was met in the backfield, broke off of it, did a couple juke moves around the line of scrimmage, ran into his own defender at around the 37-yard mark, and then falls ahead for the first down. Wow.
Pending the spot, that might have put him to 100 yards, and it did. Just put him to 100 yards on 9 carries. 13-yard gain, and Brown was blotted up in the backfield. Not a good piece of blocking from the offensive line of Apollo Ridge, and the backside almost took him down, and Lloyd Galloway was the player who took the big hit from Dwayne Brown whenever Brown ran into his own player.
Fitzroy under center sends Brown in a motion to make it trips left. He'll hand it off to his fullback. Fullback will bounce off one of his offensive linemen. They be pushed back by 4 Indians. Goes number 31, Coleman, for the Vikings. Sets up a second down and long.
I don't know if they gave him just the line of scrimmage or did he pick up a yard on the play. I'm going to say it's just the line.
I have Coleman. That's his second carry of the game. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
2 carries, 1 yard.
So they have a second down and 10. Fitzroy out of the shotgun. Sidecar was Coleman to his left. They throw a little screen over to Brown. Brown breaks the first tackle, but then is spun around and brought down for another loss there by the Shadyside Academy Indian defender. We'll get the name and number when we hear it.
Lost 2 on the play. Not a good piece of blocking on the screen. Didn't have it set up. More of a swing pattern, swing pass, and just couldn't pick up the yardage. Well, they lost 3 on the play.
Chase Villani on that tackle. One of the hockey players and football players here on Shadyside Academy.
And that's what one of the halftime shows should be. The athletes who play 2 sports, and I don't mean 2 sports in a year. I mean 2 sports at once.
Yep. whistle here. We'll see what the whistle is for.
I think it's going to be a timeout on Shady side from the signal from the officials.
And that'll be Coach Lecka talking to his defense, setting up a 3rd down and 13 right here. Very important for Shady side to get this stop here.
No,
they called it to Apollo Ridge side. And the sidelines for Apollo Ridge not happy right now with their offense. Well, curious why. I thought Shadyside called that timeout the way their coach and staff got out there real quick. But it sets up a 3rd down and 13, 9:56 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Brandon, it's always very important to start the second half right on that first drive. And right now, Shayside's defense has answered the bell.
Yeah, after the big run from Dwayne Brown, the big 13-yard gain for the 1st down, they've really kind of responded very positively. And clock management is always a big-time thing here for Apollo. They had a little bit of trouble managing the clock against Highlands earlier in the year in that game I did. And right there, that's not a timeout you want to take your 2 minutes and 4 seconds into the second half.
3rd down, Twins to each side. Shotgun snap. Fitzroy steps up and he can't throw it away. Ball, and he is sacked. I thought the ball might have gone forward for a little bit there. I saw some players running there, but Fitzroy just swallowed up and sacked for about a 5-yard loss, maybe even more. Either way, sets up a long 4th down, and the punt team trotting on for the Vikings.
Yeah, they're going to give them about a 3-yard loss on that play. Because it was 13, now it's 17, 4-yard loss, sorry. That offensive line not very impressive in that series for the Vikings. A lot of trouble, a lot of breakdowns in assignments and coverage.
Brown boots it away, and it is Kroll back in, has it at his 30, 35, 40 down the left side, 45. Slips through a tackle, spins out of another one at that 45. He started to run horizontal on that 45-yard line, and that's where they'll have it. Will the Indians 1st down and 10, their first drive of the second half at the 9:02 mark here in the 3rd quarter.
Alex Gamble did a good job of just grabbing onto Kroll's leg and going for a little bit of a ride, but making sure he didn't let go. Start at the 45-yard line. Very good starting field position for this Shadyside Academy offense.
See which quarterback comes out. They were moving the ball very well with Sky Moore at quarterback in this Wildcat formation. Looks like it'll be to Kroll in the shotgun formation, and he'll kick it off the right side. Now goes to the left side, picks up about 5 on the play, gets to midfield. And it will be Clayton Kroll. Maybe 6 yards on that carry into Apollo Ridge territory.
That's his first carry of the game, and a very impressive piece of running from him. Kroll, really, that's his first stat of the game. Started out lining up at receiver and hadn't touched the ball.
Brian Foster into the game now at running back. Kroll remains in. They're going to hurry up to the line.
They got to hurry up.
Foster goes off to the right side. 5 seconds go on the play clock. They send him in motion. Looks like a jet sweep. No, they'll keep it with Kroll. Kroll met quickly by number 40 for Apollo Ridge, Kane Kanea, and it is a 3rd down and 5. No gain.
That play was set up to fail from the get-go. Just having a lot of trouble getting it off from the line, the signal coming in, and a lot of times you'll see that when you change quarterbacks so often. They're not used to the signals. They're not used to the verbiage in the huddle and making sure they know everyone's assignment.
Sky Moore back into the game, and he'll have Foster behind him. Trips to his right, ball at midfield, 3rd and 5. Option play, pitches it to Foster. Foster 50, 1st down across the 45 into the 43-yard line for the Indians. They are in Vikings territory now, 1st down and 10.
So he gained 7 on that play. Speedy Foster over the outside there. Nice job on the pitch from Sky Moore there to realize he was bottled up for the tackle and wasn't going to get anywhere. Timed his pitch perfectly, though, after the first defender had already committed on making the play on him.
So they'll come out shotgun. Twins to the left, one to the right. They'll send Foster in motion. It'll be Kroll again, and he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Lose 2 off to the left side there. And we're seeing a healthy dose of Clayton Kroll here to start the second half for Shady side. A couple goods and a couple bads.
Yeah, but that's a breakdown on the offensive line. It's a bad snap, too. Twice now, Kroll's had to put his right arm up and catch the ball one-handed on the snap, and you don't want to get that, especially when you're running on a timing offense, on a jet sweep, a wildcat-type offense. Better hurry up again, Kroll at quarterback.
5 seconds to go on the play clock. Kroll gets it, rolls to his right. He'll throw it, not wide down there by Galloway. The tight end defensive end here for Apollo Ridge sets up a 3rd down and 12, 6:30 to go here in the third quarter. 14-7, Apollo Ridge over Shady side.
I usually only keep stats on 1 or 2 quarterbacks, so I gotta redo my stat sheet here. Because if you get my philosophy on that is if you get past your second quarterback, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're in.
You're in for a long night.
Unless you run the Wildcat like the Indians and the Vikings do. Here we go, 3rd down and 12. They send Foster in motion, form trips to the right. Kroll, a quick pass, and wow, just overshot Yost. His intended target was looking for a quick screen play, and it was just overthrown, and blown opportunity there for Shady Side Academy.
Both teams now in their first possession of the second half have picked up a 1st down and then stalled on a 3-and-out after that. Not able to pick up additional 1st downs. Now, the thing about it is Kroll's their punter as well, so he'll line up to punt the ball. Something you got to watch for, maybe a trick play down the road.
Take a few steps to his right and boot it into the air. It'll be Brown. Brown will get at the 15. Now he'll roll to his right and find some room. Breaks a few more tackles, gets across the 25 to the 30, and gets a little bit across the 30, maybe to the 31, and it sets up a 1st down and 10 for the Apollo Ridge Vikings. 6:14 to go, third quarter.
Brown knew if he would have broke that tackle, he's still running. He might be out on 56 at this point with his speed.
Coming up after the game, it's the WPIL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center with all the scores from Week 4 of the 2015 WPIL football season. Plus, Rick Smith and Mike Azanian join Don on the roundtable.
Bad snap.
Bad snap there, picked up by, oh no, it's fumbled again. And Shady Side's acting like they have it. Bad snap. Brown loses it after he picks it up.
Who came up with the ball?
But who came up with it? There's an injured Shady Side Academy Indian player down on the ground. They pointed for Shady Side Academy football.
Number 3, Jordan Kahn, came up with that football. Fumble by Brown, recovered by Kahn. While that player is down, I want to let you know, score in from the top of the conference here. Freeport is up 7-0 now on Highlands on a Weigold pass for a touchdown.
Some other scores, Jeanette 13, Clareton 12. That was the last time I checked on that one. Kiski looking for 2 wins in a row. They're up 13-10 over Norwin. Other AA action, South Fayette 14, Steel Valley 0. Looking to see what that number is.
Looks like there's a 4 at the end. I'm not sure.
My guess would be maybe there is a 76, Cole Newman.
No,
But I don't. As an offensive lineman that plays a lot for Shady Side, it might be their number 44, Neil McQuigg, who has.
Looks like there are 2 4s there. I'm not. I can't tell for certain because I'm only looking at the side of his shoulder pad. I can't see top or bottom.
It is Tommy Thorpe. Jess Levo has texted in our injured player. He is a senior, 6 foot, 237. Tommy Thorpe. We thank Jess for that. When you got the camera, you can zoom in and check out everything.
You can zoom in. Plus, she's on top of it, so she can see top of the jersey or front of the jersey as well. Bigger numbers. Looks like they're working on his leg a little bit. He looks to be in a lot of pain.
Well, we'll take this opportunity to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll remind you that this game is brought to you by ProGrass First and Turf, and you are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention business owners and marketing managers. MSA Sports Network offers a cost-effective way to expand your advertising efforts, increase your bottom line, and promote your brand and services in the communities you serve. Offering you flexible marketing plans with numerous multimedia combinations, the ability to target your local customers within a 5 to 10 mile radius of your business, industry exclusivity, available via sport, season, community, or region, and outstanding return on investment with all MSA Sports sponsorship opportunities. MSA Sports Network represents the most efficient and effective ad placement in the broadcast industry. To learn more about advertising opportunities on the MSA Sports Network, contact Glenn Anderson at 412-362-2000, extension 2225, or ganderson@msa.com.
No regrets. You may have some regrets in life, but not with Erie Insurance. We'll treat you fairly and won't penalize you for a mishap. And we have great rates. So instead of regrets, get to know Erie. See for yourself why more than 90% of Erie customers stay with us year after year. Get a quote today.
Call the Mills Agency, servicing Greensburg, Ligonier, and Jeanette. 724-834-3015.
Erie Insurance.
Back here from Apollo Ridge, Scott Majeski with you, Brandon Showers. We are still in an injury timeout. Shadyside Academy attending to their offense and defensive lineman senior Tommy Thorpe. And unfortunately, seniors, this is their last month of playing high school football in the WPIL, guaranteed. If teams can play some November football, that's great for them. But unfortunately, this is the final month for a lot of seniors. And you definitely don't want to go down with an injury, that's for sure.
Well, and we talked about it in the pregame. Both of these teams riddled by the injury bug with players leaving games and things. Doc Shaletka, typical quarterback, running back, linebacker for Shadyside's not playing tonight. Luke Fitzgerald, a big-time cog on the offensive line, 6'1", 248. And you might recognize the name. That's Pat Fitzgerald's son. Allegheny County Commissioner, so comes from a little bit of stock there. And now with Tommy Thorpe down, another big senior, 6 foot 237. You never want to see players go down at all. If you can avoid losing seniors, though, on the field, that's your leadership quotient, that's your leadership ability. And there's 3 seniors right there off the top of my head that I've just named that Shadyside has lost this year. And not a good situation for them, and Thorpe is still down. This has got to be something. Oh, they're going to start to try to get him up. This has got to be something pretty bad, though, if he's still down. I guess they seemingly are looking at his leg. I'm not sure if it is upper leg, lower leg, and don't want to speculate as of such, but they're certainly on the lower end of the body. Just waiting to see him get up and see what kind of weight he can put on his lower side. As we get a couple of coaches coming in to try to help and take him to the sidelines.
It's like maybe number 65, Tyler Hackaday, maybe coming in to get some reps, or Josh Maurer, number 67, both sophomores, as Thorpe is up and moving around.
He's not putting any weight on his legs. He's walking one-legged, so I'm sure you can see that with the great camera work of Jess Levo upstairs.
Well, like we've been saying, injury bug has bitten Shadyside.
On a plus, they got the ball.
Yep, they got the ball after a fumble recovery.
They forced Dwayne Brown to fumble the ball, and they picked it up. So on the positive note, on the good side of things, they got the football, and who knows, they might be able to tie it up here and tie it up late.
It'll be Josh Morrow, number 67, a sophomore offensive lineman checking into the game for Shadyside. They're down by 7, back to action, 6:09 to go here, third quarter. Ball at the Apollo Ridge 29-yard line. Chance here now for the Indians as Moore comes out in shotgun. High snap, hands it off to Foster, and Foster is met in the backfield by a host of Vikings. Loss of 2, maybe 3.
2. They gave him a loss of 2. It looks like a long 2, though, Scott. I think you were closer to right with the. They just changed it to the loss of 3. Again, must be listening to the broadcast as we're talking about the distance. And this is one of the fields, and I probably should have warned you when I sent the email earlier this week. They don't have hash marks on the field, so you're not going to be able to pick up yardage right away. You've got to kind of guesstimate and guess and see where you're at.
Apollo Ridge stacks the box as Moore will hand it off to Foster off the right side. Foster gets a decent gain back to the original line of scrimmage and a couple more off to the right side. That's up now a 3rd down and maybe 9. A long 8 if they give it that.
Gave them 4 on that play. And so much of the offensive line is predicated upon rhythm and familiarity between the 5 front offensive linemen. And you lose Luke Fitzgerald. Now you've lost Tommy Thorpe. It's troublesome to run the football now, and you can see it after losing 3 yards on a play and then picking up 4.
Gun for Moore. Moore will throw it off to the right side, and it is caught by Shady side down on the right side, inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5, down to the 2. And that looks like Yost over there with the catch. No, Clayton Kroll, I apologize, number 15 there on the right side. He just threw it up there, and Kroll made a nice adjustment in the air to make the catch down to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal from the 1 for Shady side.
Good job of Kroll there to high point that football, get his hands up and above the defensive back and pull it down. That was sheer strength on his part, and a good piece of blocking of the offensive line. Pass blocking is so difficult if you're not used to the guy beside you.
Moore comes in shotgun, hands it off to Foster, and Foster off the right side maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage. We haven't seen Eric Harris handle the ball here in the second half.
You're right, we have not. 14-0 now, Freeport in. Score in the 3rd quarter.
I see Harris over there standing on the sidelines, but we have not seen him in the second half. It's just been a lot of Foster. 2nd down and goal from the 1, a timeout, and another injured Indian down on the field.
That's a big number too. That's an upper number, maybe. Would it be 75? Jess, if you can hear us, and you can see it.
Jess, we would love another assist from you. If it's 75, it'd be Leonard McAllister, excuse me. Just saying she can't see it from up top. Luke Keenan is 66. He's a starter on the offensive line as well for Shady side. Trip Callahan is another one. He wears 77.
Oh, boy.
If it's 76, it may be Cole Newman.
If it's 77, that would be very troublesome.
Big and hit it.
Not only for the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken, Tripp also plays basketball. He's a heck of a hoops player as well on the Indians. I had them a few times last year.
Well, it looks like it may be a 6 number. So maybe Cole Newman or Luke Keenan. 66 is Luke Keenan. Cole Newman is number 76. They are tending to him. And we'll be respectful and take another timeout here on the MSA Sports Network. I want to remind you this game is brought to you by ProGrass, First and Turf. And you're listening to the MSA ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Tune in on Monday night at 7 o'clock for the Hometown Girls Volleyball Show, only here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Bob Workwis. Join me and guests from our Hometown Volleyball program as we chat with coaches and players from Avonworth, Brentwood, Central Valley, Chartiers Houston, Freeport, Southside Beaver, and West Allegheny. That's the Hometown Girls Volleyball Show, Monday nights at 7 o'clock, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Back to Apollo Ridge. Brandon Showers with me. I'm Scott Majeski. The injured Indian is getting up and walking under his own power, but with some little bit of assistance. Got a limp going to him. Still can't tell that number.
I'm waiting for him to turn here. I'll watch. You watch the play.
Now checking in will be Tyler Hackaday, 65 offensive lineman. He's a sophomore.
He went behind. He's gone behind the bench players now at this point.
Clock ticking now at 4:05. Shady side looking to tie the game. High snap to his left, maybe up the middle if he can find a hole there, but he won't, and it'll be 3rd down and goal from probably the 2-ish yard line, maybe 1 if you picked up another yard gain there. I think that was Foster who comes off around a little bit limping. They got 1 on the play. Once again, no Eric Harris yet in this second half.
That was more with that carry there.
Third quarter here, Shadyside Academy looking to punch it in from the Vikings 1 yard line. Shotgun formation, receiver to each side, and we got a timeout. And this will be Shadyside. They'll talk it over.
And this is one of those scenarios. If you can get a big defensive stand here, if you're Apollo Ridge, you can build the rest of your season around it. And they still have some good games and big games coming. The Summit Academy game next week, it's at Summit Academy. Summit Academy's
Saturday
down
kickoff.
this year. Deer Lakes, though, at Deer Lakes, that's going to be a big game. If they get the right kind of help and they're able to win this game, that Deer Lakes game could determine who goes into the playoffs as the 3 or 4 seed out of the Allegheny Conference. And then they have West Shamokin here at home at the end of the month, the 30th. Get a big defensive stand here. That's something head coach John Skiba can show in the film room. And remember a few years back, when Penn State was down, they were a down program before all the problems started and things like that. They had a big defensive stand against Indiana the year prior. And it was Paul Posluszny's, I believe, sophomore year. Then the next year they ended up playing in the Rose Bowl. So that's something they built their entire year going forward on the next season.
Huge 3rd down and 1 here. It'll be Moore from the shotgun. He'll hand it to Foster up the middle. Foster still fighting for it, and they gave it to him. He got that extra stretch, the extra effort, and there it is. Touchdown for Shadyside Academy, and they are down by 1 to the Vikings as they look to tie it up here. 3:24 to go, 3rd quarter.
He just got it, but he just got the ball over top of the goal line. Big 1-yard carry out of Brian Foster. Good piece of running and a good offensive play call coming in out of that timeout.
Snap is up, hold is better, and that kick is up, and that kick is wide right. So the PAT is no good, and the score is now Apollo Ridge 14, Shadyside Academy 13 here in the 3rd quarter with 3:24 left to go. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the remaining of this game and this contest for you here on the MSA Sports Network. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass First and Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, First in Turf.
Welcome back to Apollo Ridge and Apollo Ridge homecoming here in the Allegheny Conference. Battle of 2 teams looking to sniff the playoffs this year. For Brandon Showers, I'm Scott Majeski. We thank you for joining us here. Jess Levo working the camera, came up with another big assist for us. Brandon, the injured Shadyside Academy Indian was number 76, Cole Newman, a junior for Shadyside. They are feeling it on the offensive line. Just injury bug plaguing them as the kickoff is underway here and taken by Shipman, and he'll take it up the middle, 25, and cut down right there by McQuigg. And it's a 14-13 game here in the 3rd quarter. Shadyside had a chance to tie it up, a missed extra point, and now it's up to their defense.
Yeah, now after a big-time turnover, forcing the do-everything star Dwayne Brown to put the ball on the ground and recovering it, good piece of tackling and recovery there. Jordan Kahn came up with the recovery for Shadyside, and Dwayne Brown, like I said, he put the ball on the ground, which is completely out of characters for him, and a little bit of a officials conference here at the line of scrimmage. Dead ball, personal foul on Apollo, so that's going to back him up 15 yards, and that's a costly penalty.
It's their second personal foul of the game, and looks like all the big penalties, Brandon, have been going to Apollo Ridge. A lot of holding, some personal fouls.
4 for 46
Hurting
now
them.
is what I have them at.
Okay.
Shadyside's 3 for 25. The only penalty that really hurt Shadyside was that defensive offsides to give that first down.
3:19 to go here in the third quarter. The Vikings up by 1 over the Indians. It'll be Fitzroy under center, and he'll hand it off to the right side. It'll be Brown. Brown cutting to the right side. 20, 25, 30. He's got a foot race going 40, 45, and knocked out of bounds. And right at midfield will be the official spot for the Vikings running back, and a huge pickup.
10 carries, 133 yards now for Dwayne Brown. That was a big-time 33-yard carry from him. Now at this point, he's getting to that level to where it's just he feels like he's in the zone and hitting his stride. Who knows? It might be the proper time for the Apollo Ridge Vikings, and that's what John Skiba said after the Highlands game is maybe, just maybe, we can get healthy at the right time and go into the playoffs on a high note if we can make it.
I formation, motion man to the left, sets up twins there. It'll be a handoff to Brown, 50, 45 off the right side, breaks a tackle, falls forward, gets close to the 40-yard line, needs that for the first down, maybe a few yards short, give him 7 on that play.
Brett Coleman blocked 3 defensive linemen on that play by making contact with one. All he did is he took the 3 defensive linemen, he took the first one closest to the hole and pushed them down into the rest of the defensive line.
Clock ticking now at 2:38 here in the third quarter, under center, and they'll give it to Brown again. Brown went to the left, now cuts back to the right, 40, first down, and inside more Indian territory, past the 35, down to about the 32-yard line, and Clayton Kroll on that tackle for Shady side.
And on that one, Coleman faked like he got the handoff. First man through the line saw him kind of signal his arms down like he was getting ready to take the hit. First guy through the line hit him, which sprung Brown for a couple extra yards. Stankus now in at running back.
And he'll dot the I there. Receiver out far left, under center. Fitzroy will hand it off to Stankus, and Stankus will lower his shoulder across the 30 and down to about the 26. Eric Yost and Kroll on the tackle again for Shady side. And looks like Apollo Ridge is riding that momentum of that missed PAT by the Indians.
Well, they're riding that momentum, but they're also playing the clock game as well. Already starting to do that and just keep the ball on the ground.
I formation, Fitzroy under center. Receiver out far side left. He'll get the handoff to Stankus, and he will get his way close to the first down. He's right around the 25-yard line.
That was impressive because he had about 3 guys on him. Stankus going to check out in favor of Dwayne Brown now.
A third down and a long and 2. Big third down for both sides here on this one. It'll be Fitzroy. He'll hand it off to Brown. Brown off to the right side. Finds a hole. Squeaks through. 10, 5. And still on his feet. Dives into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Vikings up on the board again now 20-13 over the Indians.
I don't know what Brown does in his spare time, but it looked like he takes some dance lessons with the ability to just tiptoe down the sideline and stay on his feet. The scary part, and we don't know what the alignment's going to look like next year, but the scary part is he's a junior. So he's going to be playing some football next year as well. And there's already been some big-time college offers come his way. They're just going to get bigger and bigger from here. Although, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama's already offered him, so I don't know how much bigger it can get.
Anella's kick is up, and that kick is good. 21-13 with 55.8 to go here in the third quarter. The advantage are the Apollo Ridge Vikings here on homecoming. You are listening to ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Don Rebel inviting you to log on each Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for This Week in the WPIAL, only here on the MSA Sports Network. Join me along with other MSA Sports members each week as we talk to head coaches around District 7, plus run down all the high school football action and preview the top games for the upcoming weekend. That's This Week in the WPIAL, Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Well, what can Brown do for you, the old saying, as he scores another touchdown for the Apollo Ridge Vikings. his second of the game, this one of 25 yards, and it extends the lead for Apollo Ridge to 8 over Shady Side Academy. As a swim kick will roll down the right side and stay in, get a friendly roll, and Shady Side's got to fall on it, and a big hit.
I didn't see who laid that out. That was 17 or 27. Sorry,
27 lays a big hit on Foster.
DiBernardo. Just hit about 6 yards into the out of bounds side.
What a friendly roll too. That ball looked like it was headed for out of bounds, and then it caught a little turf and skipped back inside. And Shayside still a one-possession game, down by 8 with 49.5 to go here in the third quarter.
I want to correct something I said a little bit ago, though.
Go for it.
Brown hasn't had a single offer. I thought I read somewhere he's had some big school offers, but he hasn't had a single offer. He's had discussion, but not a single offer, which is very surprising.
Handoff does more to his up back there. I think that's Foster on that carry. No, Eric Harris. Eric Harris back into the game on the offensive side. Had the last series on defense. Flag on the play.
Just going to say, you got to wonder where Eric Harris is after 13 carries in the first half, but just kind of showed up a chop block on the Shady Side Academy Indians. That's going to back them up.
So
come on, guys, step it off.
Negate that 1 yard gain for Eric Harris. Be half the distance to the goal. Set up a long first down. Ball at the 7-yard line of the Indians. 1st and 17. Moore and Harris in shotgun formation. Harris is his sidecar left. Shadows of the goalpost right behind him. Moore will pass. Moore all day. Now has to get flushed out. He will. He'll run it. He's got blocking up front off to the right side. And he picks up about maybe 3 on the play. Gets back up to about the 10, 9-ish yard line. There. That may be the last play of the third quarter here from Apollo Ridge. And it appears it will be so. So we'll have the fourth quarter coverage for you coming up here on the MSA Sports Network and our ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week. With Apollo Ridge 21, Shady Side Academy 13 here in some Allegheny Conference action. You are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Fourth quarter underway here from Apollo Ridge. It's homecoming night here at Apollo Ridge, and Shady Side Academy has the ball, 2nd down and 15 at their own 9-yard line, down by 8 to the Vikings. Shotgun formation, they'll send a man in motion, make twins to the left. Moore gets the direct snap, it's high, and he has to roll to his left, and the Vikings are all over him. Another loss, and a big loss here, and it makes a 3rd down and very long from their own 5.
It'll be a 2-yard loss, so back to the original spot after the penalty was marked off.
3rd and 19. Ball at the 5. Get all the way up to the 24-yard line. 11:25 to go here, fourth quarter. Shady Side down by 8.
Call this 3rd and Vandergrift. Not many plays in your playbook if you're Dave Havern that'll pick up 19 yards on a clip.
Moore will hand it off, and it'll be Harris. Harris will bounce it off to the right side, 10, but met quickly and pushed out of bounds by Spillman. Or excuse me, that's Shipman. And it sets up a 4th down, and the Indians will call on the punt team.
7-yard carry for Harris. So it takes him to 63 yards on the game, but not a lot of room to run, and again, not a lot of plays in your playbook to call when it's 3rd and forever.
4th and 12. Kroll waits for the snap. He gets it, and he punts it away, and not a very good punt at all for Clayton Kroll, and that's not what Shady side needed right there. That punt gets to the 35-yard line. And that is a very generous spot. I thought that one went out around the.
Okay.
Fans don't like it.
Well, and I don't blame them either.
Yep. Huh. Well, Paul Ridge will have it in Shady Side's end. Ball at the Indian 35. I formation. Fitzroy under center. We'll hand it off to the left side. It's Brown. Brown 35 and tripped up. No, 30, 20, 15, and now brought down by McGuig down by the 11-yard line. 1st down run. He looked like he was tripped up by Kahn for a minute there, but nope. Got his way down to what they'll say the 12-yard line.
23 yards on the carry. That gives him 199 yards on the game and 14 carries. So nearing in on that 200-yard mark. He also has 2 touchdowns. Very impressive second half for him. He went into the end of the first half, 8 carries, 87 yards, which is an impressive first half, don't get me wrong. Now he has 7 carries for 112 yards.
They'll mark it at the 13, and a whistle blown here. Bad snap. So a break there for the Vikings. We'll see the flag.
False start on the offense, it looks like, from the side judge who threw the flag.
And that is the call. Back them up 5 to the 18. Some of the top athletes in the WPL are featured every week on the MSA Sports Center stage, which you can view on our YouTube page. Log on to our website this fall at www.msasports.net and check out which athletes we are talking to, plus our weekly game lights are also now featured here on the MSA Sports Network. 1st and 15 at the 18. Fitzroy will hand it off. Brown off to the right side, and he'll pick up a few to that right side, get close to the 15-yard line. Looks like right at the 15-yard line. Pick up of about 3.
Takes him to 202. And Brown, after the false start, looked at the sideline and almost looked like he wanted a quick breather. But John Skiba was looking at him and saying, no, stay in, as he now throws his towel over to the sideline. Maybe that's what it was, is he wanted just a second to bring his towel over, because I can't see him taking himself out of any ball game, whether it's a huge lead or a small lead.
And here's the snap and the handoff, and Brown will dance a little bit to the right side, get past the original line of scrimmage, and will set up a long 3rd down. Dwayne Brown just being the workhorse. Give him 4 on that carry. 3rd and 8. Ball at the 13.
Be interested to see if they go with the field goal here, if not able to punch it in. It'd be about a 30-yard field goal, and Benelli does have a good leg on her.
It's the handoff to Brown on the I formation. Slips a little bit, gets back up, though, and he's met by a bunch of Indians after he picks up maybe 2 on the play. So now you're getting that discussion for Benelli, and here she comes out.
Be a 27-yard field goal attempt, pending where Benelli puts the snap to go down. About a 27-yard field goal attempt. She's right down the middle, though, lined up perfectly. So as long as she doesn't Josh Scobie it, she should be fine.
Here's the snap, good hold. That kick is up, and that kick is good right down the middle there. extends the lead to 24-13. Benelli with a nice kick at the 8:42 mark here in the fourth quarter to give the lead for.
You got to wonder, did she go down to Heinz Field and try out earlier in the week, or what happened? Because boy, she crushed that ball. And
Yes,
this is a conference, Scott, that's no stranger to the female kicker.
Yep.
Ironically enough, the Highlands game, the Highlands Apollo Ridge game I did here, their kicker, Taylor Gunn, another female kicker, hit the game-winning field goal in overtime after Apollo Ridge tried to ice her. And Sam Alberts, the coach for Highlands, said she's they call her Tay-Tay. He said Tay-Tay is just as cool as anyone could be. She's a junior on that team. Certainly, I'm sure will be kicking next year for them as well.
I like seeing it. I like seeing more of females getting involved in this game, and kicking is one way to do it. See more and more playing at the middle school level these days. As a squib kick will bounce and be picked up by Kahn at the 35, and he'll get to about the 37-yard line maybe, and that'll be where the Indians will have it. Down by 11 with 8:37 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Now, Shady side, if you're Shady side, you've got to punch this ball in. You don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
You got a two-possession ball game looking you dead square in the eye with not a lot of time left. And the downfall for Shady side is you've got to abandon your offense to score at this point. You've got to score quickly and kind of abandon the Wildcat scheme and put the ball in the air. And they've thrown a total of 5 passes this game.
Shotgun formation for Moore. He'll hand it off to Harris. Harris looks to bounce it off to the left side, but he can't. He maybe gets 2 on the play. And number 40 was right there to meet him for Apollo Ridge. Or Jordan Kahn on that run, actually, for.
No, that was Eric Harris. You're right.
Okay, so
we'll keep it with Harris.
Yeah. So I thought it looked like a dirty number 7 jersey running there.
That was 30 on the tackle. Havens.
30, okay. Trips to the right. It is Moore and the shotgun. Harris to his right is the sidecar. Here's the snap, and he'll drop back. He's looking downfield. There's a nice spiral ball all the way downfield and in and out of the hands. Good coverage there from Dylan Shipman as the intended target looked to be Goodings, but we got Woodings, and we got a flag on the play. This flag is thrown.
Thrown from the referee from behind the play, right around where the pass was thrown.
Ooh.
Personal foul roughing the passer on Apollo Ridge. That's what I thought it was going to be just by location of the flag and who had thrown it, but I didn't see the roughing because I followed the ball down the field.
Well, that's a huge break for the Indians. That's another personal foul penalty called on Apollo Ridge.
That's a big-time personal foul because that puts them on the other side of the 50. Very quick 15-yard gain and a first down.
So ball moves them all the way up to the Viking 47-yard line. 7:48 to go here, fourth quarter. Shadyside Academy down by 11. 24-13 is the score. Twins to each side for the Indians. It'll be Moore in shotgun. Harris to his right. He gets it. He looking downfield, slips, falls down, flag thrown in as Moore falls at his own 46. Let's see the call. It's holding on Shadyside.
That'll be declined. Take the loss of the 7 yards. No, it wasn't declined.
No, they'll accept it. They'll push the Indians back even more.
Did that hold occur right where the quarterback was sacked because they stepped off 10 yards from?
Well, yeah, I don't understand that.
We said
there if the hold.
We said earlier it was 3rd and Vandergrift. If that's the case, it's now first and first and Clarion.
Yeah.
My goodness. They don't even have the math up on the scoreboard.
No, first and very long for Shadyside. 7:15 to go, fourth quarter. Twins to each side. Moore gets it. Flush out of his pocket, rolling to his left. 40, 45, and slips out of bounds close to midfield, and they'll say he stepped out around the 46-yard line, so he gets back a bunch and makes it a second down and a little bit more manageable.
Picked up 10 on that play now. Now at 9 carries for 33 yards. Now it's second, a little bit more manageable. Still not many plays in your playbook that are going to pick up that many yards in one clip. And if you're Shady side, that's what you need to start looking at doing, is picking up large amount of yardage quickly.
Second down and a long 17. Shotgun formation for Moore. Sidecar to his right, trips right. He gets it. He's looking for somebody. Now he throws over to Kroll. Kroll is met at the 40, loses yards, taught down at the 40-yard line. And maybe, no, they'll say forward progress at the 41. Nothing doing there. And now a third down and even longer.
Sky Moore has thrown 2 complete passes, both of them to Clayton Kroll.
What is the total yardage there? Because that is
22. He's 2 for 4 for 22.
Oh, because of that long pass play down.
27-yarder, yeah.
.6:21 and a clock ticking here in the fourth quarter. Shady side down by 11, 24-13, third and 22. Flag here, full start.
It's either going to be a false start or they didn't get the playoff, one of the two. False start.
Oh, illegal procedure, full start. Either way, 6:09 to go. Shady side now at a third and 27.
They both do the exact same thing and move Shady side backwards and
either
the direction
way,
they want to go.
Either way, it's a third and 27. And if you had a playbook for a third and 22, you got to now draw it out of your third and 27 playbook here. 76 running around the sidelines there. That's Cole Newman. So that's good to see. That's a good bright sign for Shady side. He's come running from the locker room.
At this point, Scott, you're trying to pick up. Play clock never started. At this point, if you're Shady side, you're trying to pick up 10, 15 yards on it and make it a fourth and a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to attain, as the officials are going to have a conference regarding the clock.
Here we go, third and 27, 5:40 to go. Big play here. They'll send Yost in motion behind Moore. Moore will keep it himself, throw it up in the air. Looked like he tried to pitch it. And who's fallen on it? I think Shady side might have fallen on it at the 20.
No, Apollo Ridge.
No, Apollo Ridge has it.
Coleman with the recovery.
Coleman with the big recovery at the 5:27 mark here in the fourth quarter. Big ceiling fumble recovery there.
And you got to wonder why that was thrown or why that was pitched from Moore there. Be better off just to take the sack and make it a fourth and forever than turn the ball over at the 25-yard line with this offense that Apollo Ridge has. Very likely to put it in and punch it in here for a score.
They'll pitch it off to the left side. It'll be Brown. Brown cuts back inside. Ooh, a hard hit after he picks up a good chunk of yardage off past the 20 to the 19.
A 6-yard gain. That was Yost on the tackle there for Shady side. He came, like you said, he came in hard. He came in powerful. Stankus, I believe, checks in for Brown, who's going to come over and get a drink of water.
Stankus in. Twins to the right. Clock ticking at 4:50 in this fourth quarter. Fitzrow under center, gets his snap, hands it to Stankus off the left side, fights his way for a few more, gets off to the left side, over the 15-yard line, down to about the 14-13. Flag around where the tackle was made.
I think that's going to be a block in the back of some sorts or a personal foul on Apollo Ridge coming in late.
Yeah, block in the back.
Had 7 penalties for 76 yards on the game on Apollo Ridge, 4 of them for 45 in the second half. And that one's costly because it costs you a first down.
Well, it's also a little bit on the beneficial side too, Brandon. If you look at it, with 4:39 to go, you move back more, you get more field to eat up some more clock. You could look at the optimistic side of that penalty, but it's hard to look at a penalty where you lose a first down too. 2nd down and 9. Fitzroy under center will pitch it to his right. It's Brown. Brown shakes off to the right side, eludes a couple defenders. 1st down and more, 15 and tied to about the 10-yard line there, and a big first down run for Apollo Ridge.
They did give him to the 10-yard line there. That's a 15-yard carry, or 14-yard carry, excuse me. I have him now at 19 for 229 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Just an impressive day, an impressive return for him.
He had to have been itching all week to get out on the field and entirely just thinking he couldn't wait to get the football back in his hands.
They'll hand it off to Brown, left side, 10-5 goal line, and another score for Dwayne Brown, his 3rd of the game, and extends the Apollo Ridge lead to 27.
Brown averaging about 12 yards a clip at this point. 20 carries, 239 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I'd say his day ought to be done, just knowing that he's coming off of a concussion scenario.
Kick is good on the PAT. 31-13 is the score. Apollo Ridge over Shady Side Academy here in the 4th quarter. 4:15 to go. We'll keep it here to let you know that coming up after this game, it's the WPIL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center with all the scores from Week 6 of the 2015 WPIL football season. Plus Rick Smith and Mike Zanian join Don on the roundtable. Don't miss the WPIL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
We're once again glad to be the home of the ProGrass Athlete of the Month this school year during the turf sports seasons of fall and spring. ProGrass will once again be recognizing an Athlete of the Month this fall in each of the following sports: football, boys soccer, and girls soccer. You can nominate athletes for October on our website at www.msasports.net. And if you have suggestions for who should be considered, please let us know at info@msasports.net.
Apollo Ridge will line up to kick this one away here in the 4th quarter. We'll try to see if we can get any scores for you.
Ball down.
As the ball falls off the tee. Clareton 32-26 over Jeanette. That's a big single-A matchup.
32-26 right now. Clareton has the lead.
Yep. Just got that as of 36 seconds ago. Retweeted by the MSA Sports. Franklin Regional beats Hampton 21-2 as the kick is bouncing around, picked up by Shady Side at the 35 and up to the 37-yard line. Mount Pleasant 41, Brownsville 7, and that is another final.
Final in from Armstrong and Greensburg Salem 48-13.
Mount Pleasant? Or who'd you say?
Armstrong over Greensburg Salem.
Armstrong over Greensburg. Saw Armstrong earlier this year. They love to run that football, man. They love to run it.
Until you had them week 1, and you were there till 1 a.m. in the morning. I feel bad for the print media in that game because there's no way they made deadline. There is no way.
Gutman in at quarterback here. He'll hand the ball off to Harris off the right side. 40 spin move gets up to about the 41-yard line. Eric Harris showing off a little footwork there. As Chris Gutman, the sophomore quarterback, into the game for Shady Side.
Already 20 plays ran in the second half for Shady side, they ran 25 total plays in the first half. They've already ran 20 in this second half. So a little bit faster of a pace, and their offense is a lot more on the field after Apollo Ridge's scores.
Twins to the left here on 2nd down and 7. Chris Gutman will hand it off to Eric Harris off the left side, bounce it off 40, 45, and gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line, a yard short now of the first down. Galloway on the tackle. And the clock keeps ticking now at 3:10 here in the fourth quarter. Shadyside down by 18.
Shadyside surprisingly decided not to abandon any of their offense and just keep running the football. Down by a big margin. This is gonna pretty much seal Shadyside's fate at their first in 9 years of not making the playoffs?
Eric Harris, 35, 30, 25, and almost down to the 30-yard line. My bad on there on the miscounting on the lines, but he gets down to about the 31-yard line, gets the first down, and Eric Harris just a little shoot right through the middle. Big hole. Clock stops at 2:44.
Now he's at 97 yards, nearing in on that century mark. 19 carries for 97. Excuse me, 98. They gave him an extra yard there.
So he's 2 away, but he'll check out as Brian Foster checks in the game. Receiver to each side. Chris Gutman has Foster behind him, and he gets the snap. Gutman will look. Throw down the left side. Got a man, no, overshoots him off to the left. Overshot his intended target. Looks like Kroll over there.
Brian Foster, you said in at quarterback?
Oh, Brian Foster in at running back.
Who's
checked in for Eric Harris? Chris Gutman is now in at quarterback.
Okay, so he's back in again. I'll have to create another line. That's what I was worried about because I certainly am not set up to do such.
2:19 to go here, fourth quarter. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the Vikings 31. Shayside down by 18. It'll be Chris Gutman on a shotgun. We'll throw it down the left side. Airing it up and incomplete. Good coverage over there by the Vikings defender. That Christian Schultz, the number 24, it looked like.
So this is impressive, and this needs said. Brown has completely crushed Shadyside over the last 2 years. He now has 436 yards and 10 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons against the Indians.
Wow. 10, that's impressive.
That's why he wanted 8 this game, because he had 7 last year. He wanted to beat last year's. We couldn't figure that out.
Foster on that run right there. Sets up a 4th down for Shadyside. 10 total touchdowns. Wow. 7 last year, only 3 this year.
We say it like it's a bad day at the office or something like that, but if you could look at a high school running back as a junior and say, all right, so in your sophomore and your junior year, you're going to rack up 430 some odd yards and 10 touchdowns versus the same team back-to-back years. Every high school junior in the country would look at it, okay, I'll take that. That's something I'll go with.
Oh, ball bouncing around on the low snap there. Gutman's going to roll to his right, though, throw it and overshoot his intended target. Turnover on downs, and it'll be Vikings ball with 1:22 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll see if we get any reserves checking in. It looks like we're getting some new Vikings checking into the game. One of them being a couple offensive linemen. See if we can see maybe possibly a new quarterback in there for Apollo Ridge. Looks like number 12. Looks like he's getting ready to go out there. Nope, he'll stay back. As we get a timeout, I think Apollo Ridge wants to talk it over, getting their substitutes and new players into the game. MSA Sports has you covered this fall on the court and on the pitch. Tune in for our hometown soccer broadcast featuring Upper St. Clair, Penn Trafford, Fox Chapel, and Seneca Valley. We also have our hometown girls volleyball broadcast featuring West Allegheny, Central Valley, Freeport, Brentwood, Bishop Canevin, Avonworth, Southside Beaver, and Chartiers Houston. Hometown soccer and girls volleyball broadcasts are only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Speaking of Freeport, 2 minutes to go in that game. Freeport's up 14-0. So it looks like they're going to kind of seat or unseat, rather, the Highlands Golden Rams, who came into the game with a 13-game winning streak in Allegheny Conference play after dropping down from AAA. So lucky number 13 is not so lucky for the Golden Rams of Highlands.
Not so lucky at all. Wow. One more plug, the Hometown Girls Volleyball Show can be heard every Monday night at 7 p.m. at msasports.net. Join Bob Orquist on Monday, October 19th, as he discusses WPIL volleyball with members of the Chartiers Houston Buccaneers. Couple new players into the game here as a handoff goes off to the left side. We'll get you their names. Looks like new quarterback in there, number 17 I thought I saw out there, but I could be mistaken. Number 12.
12's the quarterback, and that is not on our roster.
There's number 7. He ran
7
the ball.
is not on our roster either for Apollo Ridge. He made a couple tackles on specialties, and I couldn't give him credit. You look up and down. Am I missing it? Is it on your roster? Did I forget to type it?
I can't find it. Nope.
That is why we ask for updated rosters on a consistent basis.
Wonder if Alex Gamble, he's listed as a running back. Or if maybe he's in the...
Gamble was wearing his correct jersey number. He had a couple plays. Gamble 17. A 5-yard penalty now on on Apollo Ridge. So that's 81 yards in penalties. Not a good scenario for head coach John Skiba, and that's something I'm sure he'll talk to his team going into the future weeks. And 7 gets the handoff again. He loses a couple of yards.
Connor Valenta checks in for Shady Side Academy, a senior, number 23. One of the new Indians into the game. Apollo Ridge will watch the clock wind down and get excited as they improve on the season to 2-3 in the conference and 3-3 overall. Shady Side Academy will fall to 2-4 in the conference and 2-4 overall. We'll have post-game coverage and post-game recaps of this game when we come back here on the MSA Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. You are listening. This game is brought to you by the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week, and you are listening to the ProGrass First and Turf Game of the Week right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Who says you can only enjoy breakfast in the morning? And who says you can only enjoy it one type of way? At Dunkin' Donuts, breakfast is delicious any kind of way, any time of day. A breakfast craving can strike any time, whether it's morning, noon, or night. Dunkin' has the perfect combination of breakfast deliciousness to satisfy any craving. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. All your favorites anytime you want them. Stop by Dunkin' for breakfast anytime. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net.
Back here from Apollo Ridge with the final. The Apollo Ridge Vikings on homecoming night win 31-13 over the Shady Side Academy Indians. Apollo Ridge Vikings improved to 2-3 in the conference and 3-3 overall. They win their second in a row. Shady Side Academy falls to 2-4 in the conference, 2-4 overall, and they lose again, their third loss in 4 games. For Brandon Showers, I'm Scott Majeski. Another great and thankful shout-out to Jess Levo up above us, running the camera for a live stream game of the week here on the MSA Sports Network. And we thank her for doing her best and helping us out when she could for this game. Brandon, scoring summaries and stats?
Yeah, let's go with stats first so you can get your scoring summary all pinned down and narrowed down. We'll start with the Shady side of things. Chris Gutman was 1 for 6 for 7 yards. Sky Moore was 2 for 4 for 22 yards passing. Clayton Kroll 0 for 2 passing. Rushing, 2 attempts for Gutman for -6 yards. Eric Harris had 19 for 98 and a touchdown. Brian Foster, 6 for 13 and a touchdown. Clayton Kroll, he had 4 carries for 7 yards. Neil McQuigg, 2 for 6. And Sky Moore had 9 carries for 33 yards. Kroll, 2 receptions for 22. McQuigg, 1 for 7. 1 fumble by Sky Moore was recovered by Apollo Ridge's Coleman. 6 penalties for 48 yards, 7 first downs. On the game, no interceptions thrown. Kyle Fitzroy was 4 for 9, 68 yards and a touchdown. Dwayne Brown, 0 for 1 passing. Brown rushing, 20 carries, 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. Maurice Stankus, 7 carries for 26 yards. Brett Coleman had a yard rushing on 2 carries. Kyle Fitzroy lost 9 on 4 carries, and Dylan Shipman lost 1 on 1 carry. Shipman a reception of 21 yards. Dwayne Brown 2 receptions for 10 yards. Lloyd Galloway 1 reception for 34 yards and a touchdown. 8 penalties for 81 yards, 10 first downs. 1 fumble by Dwayne Brown that was recovered by Shady Side Academy's Jordan Kahn. That was your stats summary brought to you by MSA Sports, and now we have the scoring summary at this point.
Scoring summary all got it started, and the first quarter at the minute 21 mark, Fitzroy pass to Galloway. It was a 34-yard touchdown pass with the PAT good, made it 7-0. Then in quarter number 2 at the 11:31 mark, Brown a 35-yard touchdown run, and the PAT good made it 14-0. That was 14 unanswered there by the Vikings. Shadyside comes back with 13 unanswered. Quarter number 2, 5:35 mark, Eric Harris a 13-yard touchdown run, and the PAT was good, made it 7-14. And then a Foster 1-yard touchdown run on 3rd down and goal. But the PAT was missed, so that made it a 14-13 game at the 3:24 mark. And that's really where the momentum just picked up for Apollo Ridge. At the 55.8-second mark in that 3rd quarter, Brown another touchdown run of 25 yards, made it 21-13. Quarter number 4, 8:32, Benella 27-yard touchdown, or 27-yard field goal, made it 24-13. Then a quick fumble recovery there by Apollo Ridge on the next Shady Side possession, and they punched it in at the 4:15 mark. Brown another touchdown run, 15 touchdowns, or 15-yard touchdown run, made it 31-13 with the PAT good. Like we talked about throughout the game, Brown wanted 8 touchdowns because he got 7 against Shady Side last year. He gets 3 tonight, and in the 2 games against Shady Side, Brandon, you said it, 10 total touchdowns. And how many yards? Over 400 yards?
I believe it was 436. He had 197 last year and 239 this year. 426, I think. Quick math in my head, but my math is absolutely or no, 436. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what you said. Yep. Huh. I seem to have lost my pen. Any final thoughts here, Brandon? For Apollo Ridge, it's great. They're now on a 2-game winning streak. They got pretty much a very favorable schedule as they end this season. They got a tough one against Deer Lakes, but Deer Lakes is a team that I think Apollo Ridge may have a good, fun game against. That'll be a fun one too. Whoever gets that call.
Well, it's a matter of in that game, can Apollo Ridge's offense see the field enough? Because Deer Lakes likes to keep the opposing offense off the field. They'd love to eat up 12 minutes of an entire quarter. Just possessing the football. They had a 10-yard drive to start last week against Highlands, a very or 10-play drive, not a 10-yard, 10-play drive. They ate up about 4 minutes of the clock. So it'd be interesting to see which Deer Lakes team can show up, as long as they don't get behind Apollo Ridge, because Deer Lakes isn't meant to play from behind. They're meant to play with the ground and pound and from ahead. As long as they don't get behind on Deer Lakes, I think that'll be a real interesting football game. And I think Apollo Ridge can maybe ride some momentum here. If you're Shady Side, you got to get healthy. You got to get healthy, and that's where they're struggling right now. If you're Dave Havern, you've got to be completely saddened by the entire injury bug, just having so much trouble getting healthy.
3 offensive linemen going down in a matter of 1 week is not a good thing for any squad. All right, well, that'll wrap it up for our post-game show here. We want to thank Jess Levo once again. She was fantastic, as always, on the camera work above us. For Brandon Showers next to me and Don Rebel, I'm Scott Majeski. Our final here from Apollo Ridge. Homecoming night. The Vikings win 31-13 over the Shadyside Academy Indians. The Vikings once again improve to 2-3 in the conference, 3-3 overall. Shadyside Academy falls to 2-4 in the conference and 2-4 overall. Tune into the Scoreboard show on the MSA Sports Network. For Brandon Showers, again, I'm Scott Majeski. Thank you for joining us here, and we send you off with the final one more time. Apollo Ridge 31, Shadyside Academy 13.
You have been listening to WPIAL Football 2015 at MSASports.net, sponsored in part by First Commonwealth Bank, by Carlow University, by ProGrass, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Dunkin' Donuts, by Grove City College, by Dollar Bank, by Erie Insurance and the Charles M. Mills Insurance Agency, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the 2015 WPIAL football season and all of the high school football fall sports by logging on every day to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.